And we're live. It's me, Schmuel Buckman. It's Thursday night. We're late. Glad you could all be here. Sorry. Needed to clear my throat before we got going. All right. How's everybody doing? Good evening. Welcome, Premium. Godzilla. Godzilla makes a good point. Everybody is live. And there we go. And we went at an abnormal time tonight to because of NJ and Carlos Danger and those guys, and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go over them. Yes, Ski Mask is not live. Very, very funny. Let me take off that clock because it's annoying. There we go. Please, yes, Cigarette Jones, hit the like button, subscribe, supertip.gg/Buckman. I'm there. Tell me how my sound is. I gotta trying to move the mic set up a little bit. Actually gotta move it a little bit closer. There we go. And it's messing up with my green screen, and part of me is missing. No surprise, no surprise. So, what's going on, kids? We have guests. They'll be arriving in a little bit. I told everybody 10:30 instead of 10:15, so we could have a few minutes together to share. Let's do a little housekeeping. Let me pull myself down a little bit, and much better. So now you can see my Ko-Fi link too is Ko-Fi co-fi.com/Buckman. I'm also there. I would appreciate that. We could use some help. I'm starting to look at the amount of money that I'm spending, but isn't nearly as important as getting the respect of you guys, because that's what I'm really looking for, is respect. That's what I need. Serenity Now. Schmuel is the worst sequel since Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Serenity, the fact that you've seen Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants says way more about you than it does about me. Ha ha ha. All right. I got layers going. We're good. All right. So what's going on, peoples? And shit. Excuse my language. I left my notebook in the kitchen. So I'm going to have to run and grab that in a second. And why don't I do that right now? That makes more sense, doesn't it? I'll be right back. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I have to plug this in. We're in and we're good. Sorry about that, y'all. I was laughing because I was listening to NJRanger and I was like, wow, this guy's good. I bet he doesn't use a notebook. Bet he's quick. Somebody described him the other day as the new Leonidas. You'll all have to look that up. Let's just see. So who else is here? So we got about 16 people, which is great considering what's going on in the world. You wanted that karmic smoke and you got it. Karmic smoke. I got nothing from karmic, to be perfectly honest with you, except a reputation as a guy who likes scat porn. I think I was the cameraman that night. Affy is here. Schmuel, you look like Lemmy with the glasses. Oh, these are. I will take them off in a second. They're actually not glasses. They're clear, like the blocker blue things or whatever. I got them at a conference, and they're clear. I don't wear glasses, but when I ride a scooter back and forth to the train, and when I'm coming home at night, it's dark out, so the sunglasses don't work, and I need to wear glasses. Then I came home, then I sat on the couch, then I fell asleep, and they were on, and they've been on. And Sam Bibley, glasses, Schmuel. Let's just see who we got. Got premium. The love of my life, Ashley, is here. Let's see. I don't know, whoever Pugwash, Forever Pugwash is, who keeps asking for Crumbum. Are you asking for Crumbum or is Crumbum here? Crumbum and I talk a lot, so it's he has conflicting schedules to when we do it. Give Cookie her glasses back. How did you know? How did you know? They came from Cookie goes to a lot of events, like corporate events and shit, and they're always giving something out. These are from I don't know, EQPI or something. I love the way my camera does that. But it's pretty cool. Where we go? Let's see. So Cigarette Jones is our lovely mod tonight, as per normal, helping us keep everything going. We're going to have guests, which would probably be a hell of an idea if old Schmuely sent out the link to them. And we'll see. Wow. I got Jesus Christ. This, my Twitter never had a notification, never got a what do you call it? Never got DMs, and now all of a sudden, like everybody, everybody communicates through DMs and Twitter, and so I put it on, and I'm like, wow, did I miss these? All right, we've got to find. But the one guy who wants to be, there he is. There he is. I'll send him the link. And our other buddy already has it. Cool. All right, so we're back. And it's funny, I sent out, doing the guest thing today. So I was sending out like, hey, can we get you on the schedule kind of stuff. And most people respond, with something bland, like, yeah, sure, or when were you thinking, or something like that. And but I did get one back from somebody, and it was I'm not available for the foreseeable future. And if any of you guys remember Steve C at not a compound, at NEW maybe, or Sirius, Steve C was O&A's old producer, and he just like sent a note one time. I guess he had a bunch of vacation time. He was like, I will not be in on Mondays for the foreseeable future. It was pretty cool. Premium, good call. Schmuel sleeps with his glasses on. I sat down on the couch and I put my head back, but we can take them off. All right. And I don't know. People recommend the blue blockers to me, but the only ones that I've seen are yellow, and you look like you're going hunting or fishing or some bullshit, whatever it is you're doing. Tom Myers wears them to blue block. All right. Guru One. Of course, Panhandler will be here. How could we not? He's got to get it in, because I'm going to have JMO on Saturday, and Panhandler has said that once I have JMO on, he will no longer come on the show. So we got to fill. He's got to get his time. Blue balls. I see Cigarette Jones saying. Yeah, you get to be my age, and well, I don't know. Maybe it's also because I'm married, but the blue balls thing just doesn't happen anymore. I imagine that fucking Karmic's got like bright blue balls. Not that I think about Karmic's balls, but I'm really guessing he doesn't. There's not a lot of activity going on down there. And just a health tip, guys. I don't know why my camera does that. Just a health tip. You got to get the poisons out. I keep hearing that if the poisons stay in, prostate cancer. So get them out, get it out. And whoa. We can talk about that. All right, there we go. And apparently I've also been asked to not be yelling in the middle of the night, apparently. Prostate health, yep. Get your prostate massages, guys, and whatnot. All right, I hope the sound is good. I got fans going because I'm smoking inside, which I'm not supposed to do. But there we go. Cigarette Jones. Forever Pugwash keeps asking this question. I think we've answered it. Okay? Will Crumbum be on the program tonight? Crumbum could come anytime he wants. He's always welcome. He's aware of that. He's got the link. But he's not going to be on. And we actually talked today. And Premium, show us how to milk that prostate, Schmuel. I think that's probably more of a job for, I don't know, Karmic or Mir or somebody. It's not the way, not my kind of thing. And I don't do that. So in any event, I just want to touch base on a couple of things before we get going. Tomorrow night, I will be on with Luigi Greenberg on Skeptical Robot at 7:30 p.m., I believe, East. And we're going to talk about Harold Camping. And if you don't know who Harold Camping is, you should look him up, because He's amazing, but I did mention it to him the other day, and so I wanted to touch on that. I wanted to also mention Patrick's disappearance. I saw Melton put out a tweet today because people are like wondering where he is, and he put out a tweet that he's quit podcasting or something. Um, I think, just my opinion, no talking to anybody or whatever, but um, I think this is kind of like the ultimate sticking it to Aaron. You know, Kevin sticks it to people by going live, and Melton sticks it to Steel Toe by not doing anything. And so it's been a couple of weeks that this has been going on. And if you take a look at Steel Toe's numbers, you will see that uh, they've been going down. It's like directly proportional. The less Patrick streams, the lower Steel Toe's numbers go. And it's just amazing. And anyway, um, Forever Pugwash. You seem like a nice guy, but this is the we can't keep going through Crumbum stuff tonight. So love you, but uh, if what I haven't given you, whatever, I don't think, and I don't believe that Crumbum is has been drinking. Guru One, you like Springsteen, Schmuel? The answer is yes. I've been a Springsteen fan since, God, forever. I think I'll be honest with you. The first time I saw Springsteen was in Mobile, Alabama, maybe 1980, 1981, something like that. I was just a young boy. And, but yeah, I got to see him there. And it was amazing because it was Mobile. He wasn't that popular at the time. It was before Newsweek and Time put him on covers and stuff. And um, the auditorium is about as big as like, it's probably three-quarters or half the size of Madison Square Garden, and it was packed. And it was the first time in Alabama that I was there that there was open marijuana smoking going on, and the police were ignoring it. So um, that was pretty wild. And let's just see. Premium Springsteen sucks. Um, okay. I mean, you're allowed. You're allowed to have that opinion. I disagree with it, but you're certainly allowed to have it. Um, Springsteen stuff is, look, his early stuff is great. I don't know about, some of the stuff that he's done, but the guy's been around for like 40, 50 years. So the reality is you're always allowed to have a few stinkers in there. But I think, I always dug Greetings from Asbury Park. I have I have a much older sister, and her boyfriend at the time, who then became husband, and they're still married, was a big Springsteen fan. And he got me Greetings from Asbury Park. And I was hooked. And then moving from New York down south, it was like, oh, this was like my connection to New York. And although I know you guys, like it's Jersey. Good evening, Mr. Panhandler. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, because yeah, I got asked by Guru One if I like Springsteen, or I got asked by somebody. I think it was Guru One. I got asked if I like Springsteen. I said yes, and then of course they had to say that Springsteen sucks. So then I had to go into why Springsteen doesn't suck. Uh, you are, you know, I'm not. I'm not a big music guy. I'm not a big concert goer, but I've been to the big one. I've been to the Who, been to the U2, ELO, like all that stuff. Nobody puts on a show like Springsteen, right? 4 hours long, all fucking music, no break, no backup band, just amazing. And And they really do look like they have fun doing it. I don't know how it would be now. The last time I got to see him, maybe it was a year ago. He was performing. Yeah, I got to see him. Yeah, he was doing the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, and so what he I don't think it was announced, but he was doing it there, and I got to I couldn't obviously get in, and whatnot, but if you've ever been there, it's open. It's an open. So we were watching it from behind, and I think it might have been the last time Southside Johnny was performing and Springsteen came up on stage. But but again, I don't know what his show would be like now. Um, but man, when he was younger, just the amount of energy that guy had was unbelievable. Wow. He about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, he went all around. He was like taking care of shit. So he just was like walking around Asbury Park, but then he went over. There's like an ice cream place he went over to, and some other stuff. I saw some pictures of him, and he really does look like Woody Allen now. He but no, 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 no. It's cool. It's cool. We're looking for Dave. I'm trying to find my lighter, and yeah, he was going to Walmart, and he what do you call it? He said he'd try to get here at 7:30 his time, which is 10:30 our time, which obviously he hasn't done. Hey, look, and we've got I go where I'm wanted and needed, if needed, Sam. So Crumbum's in the chat. Good to see him there. Yeah, he's been hiding out. No, so we got the what do you call it? We got to see Car. I didn't watch a lot of it, just a bit of the NJRanger Carlos stuff, and what I did see, I really enjoyed. Carlos is a great guest, and NJRanger is very good at this. Um, no, it's like he just what's the word that I'm looking for? He's like a Dabbleverse savant. He's just got all this shit in his head, and he knows how to get it out. And you can throw something out there. He knows the reference, and he remember. It's amazing. So that's it, and that's why we went late tonight because we wanted to give him his shot with Carlos. And there you go. So what's going on? Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. I I was aware of that. I was trying to finish something up before I brought him in. I apologize, but we can all see Panhandler now, right? He's all there. Um, I'm using EVMux. I don't know if I'm using it the right way or not, but I have you come up in the editor and then move you over to the live screen. And it's better for me to do that because then I can have shit up there that I don't do. Johnny Chopsticks, show prep. Yeah, but yes, I agree. But the thing is it's like there's show prep and then there's being able to reference shit that is obscure that you weren't aware of that was coming up, and that's what he's been able to do. So that's it. And I've tried to avoid watching it so we can what do you call it? Talk about it later. I didn't want to instantaneously react because every time I when I listen, no, we're gonna we're gonna leave it alone. And NJ may join us, but I don't think that they'll finish in time. So, but no, I'm not gonna pull it because Carlos is done. It's just NJ and Flimsy, and you know, I I was I feel like I did the right thing by going late and letting them have their stuff, but I don't. I know they're better. They're better than me. So if I snipe him, I'll wind up losing all my viewers. So we can't do that. And anyway, I got my boy Crumbum in here. Norwood Jones, dipshit. Nah, there's a lot of it. Let's just see here, and I don't think there's a lot in the free chat. I I can hear you fine, but Guru one I think is the one that is trolling you, and because Frank says he can hear you loud and clear. So I don't. And yes, we all. I'm the king of audio problems, although it's gotten much better lately. And my girlfriend Ashley was here, and I, I don't know where she is. She and I got to chat a little bit today, and through text, and she's a doll, and not no, yeah, well, it's women, man. What are you expecting? Oh, and then somebody said, I I have to be honest and say I have no I know that he's around. I know we talked about him the other night when we started the list. Um, the win by two. That's yeah. I was getting DMs. I'm just looking at my phone. I was getting DMs, and I have no. I really don't know much about him. I didn't even know that he did. Um, that he was still. I thought he's like stopped doing shows or something. I don't really know. But too much studio for me. I had a personal grudge against the guy because he likes to film comics performances, and I'm not a fan of that. And like he thinks it's a big thing. He got thrown out of when TSN was up in Poughkeepsie. He got tossed out of there for filming. But that's the stuff that he likes to do, and nobody's going to stop him. And I was just like, oh, we don't. It's weird because I get a lot of hate. You get a lot of hate. But yet, but people, I don't know. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. But but it's where the hate's coming from that I find so funny. It's like it's certainly not coming from above us. That's for sure. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, it's JMO, our guest on Saturday night. I gotcha. I'm just kidding, but he'll be on. But that doesn't mean what do you call it? Doesn't mean you can't come on. You just won't come on together. Um, so Dave Sauer just texted. I need a solid 20 minutes. So there. Uh, that. Hold on a second. I just want to. It's. I'm. You know what? I fell. Hold on. I fell asleep when I came home, and then I forgot to send out the links, and then I was sending out the links, but now I'm getting people who said that they didn't want to come on were then sending me things saying that they wanted to come on, and so I was answering. So I didn't want them to. No, 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 no. No, nope, nope. You don't jump off. You're here for a reason, because we've got to get back to the Dabbleverse inventory and census, and I need you here for that. So Guru one, no pan. We get it. We get it. Yeah, and because yeah, see now they get me crazy. So I guess I should look on. I will pull up. Uh, I'm not. I'm not. But you know what? I don't think they're lying. I can hear you, but we don't see your camera. But I can see. I can see you fine. So hold on. Let me remove you and let me put you back on. So we're not breaking his balls, are we? So I can see your camera fine, and it takes a second. That is weird, man. This is funny, man. You're not. Your camera's not seeing you. We're not seeing you on. I can see you. You're wearing a yellow hat and glasses. You're on my screen, but on YouTube, they're only seeing the avatar. All right, try talking a little bit, and let's just see if we can hear you on YouTube. Why am I a jackass? I'm not the one that's having the problem. No, they can't hear you. This is very strange. All right, but jump out and jump back in. All right, I'm actually gonna kick you. So, uh, you're kicked. That was very weird, people. I can see him. I can hear him. He's added to the scene. Everything we do that we normally do, and he's not there. Must have been fun listening to a one-sided conversation. So there we are. All right. Anyway, yes, it is all Pan's fault. What can I say? Oh my goodness. Big Black. Yo, Big Black. I'd like to send Big Black a link. Um, Big Black, what's going on? That's like old school, right? So you get Big Black in your chat. Means you've accomplished something. I'm not quite sure of what it is, but there we go. Oh, Robbie the Mariners fan. Robbie, I hold on. Let's just see. And I want to check. And whoa, wrong button. Why are you not coming up? I can see you on YouTube. Can you talk?
Yes, I'm back again. Unfortunately, see, I don't know what you're doing, man. You need Dave.
You're working. Back. It's working. I don't know what the hell that was, but we didn't do anything different. We've got to restart the show. So, wait, Robbie the Mariners fan. Okay. So I think most of you know Robbie. Robbie is the co-host of the United States of Australia podcast. Big sports fan, whatever. I sent Robbie a thing that I said, "Can I get you on the schedule?" And he's like, "Oh shit, I've been asleep all day." Oh, now he says I can still come on, or some other time. Really sorry, Robbie. We'll bring you on another time because I want to bring you on individually. I got questions for you, so it's all good, boss. I was really just trying to get you scheduled. I didn't mean for tonight.
And I have to apologize to Guru Run. He was not trolling me. He was trying to help. My apologies, sir.
Yep. And then Frank was then trolling you because he freaking kept saying you were great.
Yeah, that's what Frank does. I mean, he wouldn't be Frank. So I appreciate. Like I said, I'm easy to get got. So I don't know what the big flex is. I'm totally not a tech guy. So yeah, it could be my running bit. As much as I make fun of Joey C for being terrible at this stuff.
Right. And the other thing too is though is it's like we don't with like the tech errors and whatnot, where they'll call us names and things. It has zero. It doesn't really affect us, right?
No, I mean,
So
my soul is dead. That's the nicest thing I probably hear all day. So I'm not worried about it.
So is there a football game tonight?
Yeah, isn't the Bills and who are they playing? Miami.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Are you watching it? Have you been watching it at all?
No. I imagine the Dolphins are getting their doors beat off of them though.
All right. So we can't go there. What's your home protection gun?
My nightstand gun, it switches. I mean,
all right. So I'm gonna let you.
What's on my nightstand right now?
I gotta run. Yes, but I gotta grab my lighter and whatnot. So it would be very cool if you explained.
You're trying to help me out. I appreciate it. No, it just switches. I mean, right now it's Gen 3 Glock 17, and then I'll go usually to the Glock 21 45 cal, which is kind of all tricked out. I'm not a big bunch of shit on my handguns, like flashlights and optics and red dots and this, that, the other thing. But the 21 does have a light just because it has the night sights and everything else. 45 ACP is my favorite caliber. It should be the only caliber. It's the Lord's caliber. I don't want to hear about 10 millimeter. But it's tough to carry a full size gun when you're fatty. It's not very comfortable. So I don't really carry the Glock 21. I do carry the full size 17 a lot though. It's a little bit slimmer. Plus the capacity issue, the 17 round mag, one in the pipe type thing. And sometimes when I'm in summer, carry the baby Glock 26, little 9 millimeter, or the 43X. So that's it. And then if shit really hits the fan, then you go to the bigger stuff that I have quick access. As far as if we go to the long guns, I think somebody asked me before. I think Frank did. I'm more of an AR guy, not really an AK guy. I have nothing against AKs. I'm just not familiar enough with them. Plus, don't know a lot about the 7.62 caliber. So do the. And then shotgun, man. If you don't know much about guns and you want home protection, get a shotgun. They go boom every time you pull the trigger. Easy to figure out. Ammo's pretty cheap. They're fun as hell to shoot. So big 2A advocate for sure. I don't know about manly. I mean, it's one of the few things that I enjoy doing. So yes, going to the range or going outside and plinking, or even like 22. It's fun. It's fun to shoot, man. Yeah, you're in the service.
So
what they have the M1? They have the M1. What did they have when you were
M16?
Yeah, kidding.
But I don't know. What do you call it? So I don't know what they do now. Okay, but back then you didn't do any gun training at all unless you had a job that was going to involve guns. So you'd go through basic training, no gun training at all, right? No weapons training. And then you go to your tech school or whatever. And I had orders to go to Turkey, so I had to qualify with the rifle, and I failed.
You're kidding.
No. So you had 100 shots. You had to get like 70 on target, and I'm doing this from memory. So
from what range? What was the distance?
Not that far.
Very official.
But you had to do it well. That's why that's why this is actually a funny story. So you've got to do it from whatever the distance is. You have to do it standing. You had to do it prone. I don't really remember what else, but all I know is we had there were three of us standing next to each other in the booths at the range or whatever you call them.
The lane.
And huh?
The lane.
The lane at the range. And
They had you do it. They had you test inside. You weren't outside. You were on an outdoor range.
we're out an outdoor range, but
Okay.
you
Okay. I'm sorry.
had, you had to have the thing where you could put the gun down and,
Yeah.
all that shit.
I'm
Anyway, long story short, had 100 bullets each. I got like, I don't know, 40 on my target. Not the guy next to me, but the guy next to him, he got like 40 on his target. And the guy in the middle had well over 100. He had like 130, 135, which meant the other two guys were shooting at his target.
right.
They gave him a marksmanship ribbon.
Nice. That's the Air Force for you.
And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
that's what we do. So I'm telling the story about having missed a target, and this guy's probably telling the story about how he was an
It was a
ace.
sniper. Yeah. I was
Because
just gonna read. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, because what they do is they just count the number of holes. So
Yeah.
when they got to 100, they just stopped,
Right.
and that was it. And then we counted like the whatever.
Right. They usually mark it with tape, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And opinion. Sorry, I was going to go in the free chat, but I would absolutely. It depends on your hand size. The 43X is very, very slim, but so easy to carry. It's basically the G17 frame and the 19 slide. So good gun. Plus, it's pretty affordable.
Have you ever seen any of the?
A lot of deals out there for the 43X.
You ever seen any of the Phil Elmore stuff? The defense.
He's got me blocked. He's got me blocked on Twitter. I don't even know why. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen he's a knucklehead with that shit.
So he's been selling like classes, defense classes, and knives and all this other shit. And the one thing I learned from coming from a family full of cops and having been robbed at gunpoint twice, is that the biggest problem when you're the gun owner or the gun whatever is to get it out before, like, people have all this shit to use, but they generally can't get to it, unless you're walking around with it on your hip all the time.
Well,
It's
I think the biggest problem is people don't train a lot, right? They buy all this shit, and they think they're going to be John Wick or whatever, and they don't go to the range maybe once or twice a year. And the first time you carry a firearm on you, if you weren't in the military or weren't law enforcement, it feels like you're wearing a brick. Like it is nerve wracking. It is. I mean, as much as I joke around and I'm a jackass here, firearm safety, take it incredibly serious, as everyone should. That's not a flex. That's just the rule, right? So it is. But people, just because you carry it doesn't mean you know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? And shooting's not as easy as you think. And if you've ever been in a hairy situation and the adrenaline dump and everything else, it's scary, man. It definitely is a huge responsibility, and people need to take it a lot more seriously than they do, in my opinion. So,
yeah, what do you call it? It's just strange. I'm sort of uncoordinated. I know that comes as a shock, but I got robbed. New York, getting a pistol permit in New York City is really hard to do, right? But I got robbed, and my brother-in-law, the Springsteen guy, his brother happened to be the police captain in charge at the time, in charge of pistol licensing in New York City. And I could have gotten one, and my ex-wife begged me not to get it, and I wound up getting a dog instead.
yeah, you should have gotten. Why you could have, especially gun laws are so crazy up there now in the whole tri-state area. It is nuts. I could never live up there. Never.
Well, it's crazy because in New Jersey, it's like even harder than New York.
New Jersey's like, I think, the worst state, and that or Hawaii is like the toughest state, and Massachusetts is tough. The whole Northeast. I mean, you liberal fucks up there. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, I'll never move back to the Northeast for that reason. I mean, for many reasons, but that's definitely one of them. One of the top ones.
Yeah. So I don't want to say the only time, but basically the only time I've seen had a gun pointed at me was by an illegal gun owner.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it happens. I mean, you have all these strict gun laws, and everybody has guns. So, and the person that wants to own one responsibly has to jump through hoops and pay all these fucking fees and go to these classes and go to the sheriff's office and fill out this 18-page application and get your fingerprints and all this other shit. I mean, again, infringement on liberty. But don't get me started. Don't
They're,
you
they're,
don't want to get me started on this because I'll lose my mind.
they what do you call it? The problem is, and part of the reason why I'm happy I didn't get the pistol permit, uh, is only because they. It's not like it used to be once you got it, you could keep it. You just had to like, um, you'd send in a form, you get a form notarized that said you still needed it, and you'd send it in once every couple of years, and that was it. And then one of these mayors, I don't know if it was Bloomberg, but they started like you basically had to requalify for it, and they were just taking them away. It was so random the way anything gets done, and that guy, the guy that was the head of the license division, is the only guy that I know of that didn't wind up getting charged with a crime or losing his career because all the guys that run that department would all get paid off or they would get their friends permits, shit like that. But
You mean
the guy, I think the guy,
there's corruption in politics? That's weird.
I think the
Even at
guy
the local level.
after that he got Steven Tyler a gun permit, and it caused a big fucking brouhaha. And then they started looking at it, and it was like the sergeants were there, but then there were these guys. We used to have these like intermediaries, like an expediter and a building permit.
Mm-hmm.
The guy. So for those of you who don't know, if you're going to get a building permit, you get the architect to draw the plans, and an expediter is the guy that goes. He's like the intermediary between the architect and the Department of Buildings where we are. And they had these guys that were expediters for gun licenses. And it was like the system was set up so that if you didn't hire somebody, you couldn't get a license. And it was wild. And Ava has the link.
Oh, that should be fun.
So
we had a little tete-a-tete last night.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, it's weird that I'm fighting with people. I know.
Where?
Very often.
Where was that?
It was just through DMs.
Oh, okay. Because did you ever fight with Ashley?
Yeah. I mean, not a fight. I just got sick of her bullshit, and she's going around like thinking she's winning because she blocked me. I'm like, okay. I mean, I couldn't care less. I have no reason to ever talk to her again. But she's trying to like flex because I'm blocked. I don't. You know how many people have me blocked? What am I going to do? I don't give a shit. I mean, I've not like it fucking matters, but I have 4 times the amount of followers she does on Twitter. So I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, probably half of them are bots anyway, and nobody cares what I have to say. And I don't blame them. But I mean, her like flexing she thinks I'm mad because she blocked me. And that's not the reason. I don't want to associate with her because she's fucking crazy. And I've had enough of it. I'm an old man. If I'm not fucking you, there's no reason for me to put up with your nonsense, the constant emotional flip-flopping. You've talked to her, and I know you won't bang on her because you're a nice guy, but she's incredibly frustrating to deal with, and she thinks she's a fucking ton smarter than she is because when she talks about like her 180 IQ IQ or whatever, I mean, I want to fucking blow my brains out. I mean, she's just so fucking dumb. I mean, the other night, she spelled breathe wrong on her, on the title of her stupid stream. So that's the kind of person we're dealing with. So
I've spelled Schmuel wrong on the title of my stream. It's my name.
Anyway, I know you're going to defend her, and you're going to try and get me. You're going to try and get me wound up.
You're
I'm not
so
judgmental. I'm not
You're
judgmental. I'm not. She's so fucking nuts. That's all. I don't go around trashing her. I mean, now I just did for 3 minutes, but other than that, it's not like I'm adding her or tagging her. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we had a lovely conversation today. So
you're trying to get me wound up. Right.
She's I don't know. I think she's pretty cool, man. And but so it's so funny because I got Ava coming on, and Crumb was asking for a link, and I'm just like, that seems to be a little too much oil and vinegar, whatever the fuck what is it? Oil and water? What's the term? And so I don't know yet. Wow, look at it. I followed Panhandler. Instantly started reminiscing about Counting Crows.
Right, that's exactly what happened. As I'm constantly opining about the Counting Crows. It was one of those stupid tweets like, name a perfect album from the 90s that's not Nirvana or some of the huge hits, and I just thought of their album for.
They stink. You ever go to one of their shows?
I saw them in Dave Matthews back when I was a young lad.
I
Long
saw
time ago.
them 2 or 3 years ago, and it's Adam Derowitz telling all of his stories,
Yeah, he's a
and
fucked up cat.
he won't play Mr. Jones,
Well, he
and
plays it completely differently. Yeah.
there were a couple of songs that he wouldn't play, and then he played some like shit that they were just writing or putting together, and I'm like, dude, you're paying a lot of money to be here, right? Like, and I also don't care about the wagon wheel that you made into a candelabra and hoisted into the top of your apartment. Um,
Hey, he's a
I
fucking artsy fartsy guy. I mean, that's what he is. I mean, wasn't he crying about Courtney Cox for 20 years?
I think Live opened for him that night,
They're good. Or
and they were
They used to be really good.
they were much they were much better. I enjoyed it. And it was funny because I was like, I don't really want to. I wasn't rushing to get there, and the wife was like, "No, we got to go see Live." And I didn't even know who they were, and then I hear their music, and I'm like, "Wow, they are good." So that was really interesting. That was the night that night was also there's two like aged hippies. We were in the seats. I was at PNC, you know PNC. So PNC it's got seating, but it's a lot of lawn. You know, you sit on the lawn and stuff and watch the shows. We were in the seats, and the couple in the front row, we were in the second row. The couple in the front row were standing um, the entire time, and so the people behind them couldn't see, and they asked them to sit down, and all hell let loose. So these old hippies were yelling at people, and the security guard came over and was like, "It's a concert. I'm not putting up with any of this bullshit. They want to stand, they can stand."
Yeah, it's an
So
amphitheater, right?
yeah,
Standing room only. That's the ticket you buy. Yep.
you know, but it was just because, but the group that was behind them was like a group of postmenopausal women who were just complaining, and so there we go. I we were kind of scheduled. We thought Ava was coming, and oh, there she is. Um, so let's get. So this is going to be an entire gear change, right? Um, and Ava, I assume can hear me. I have not watched the Kumia thing and something else, but I want to hear what's going on. So let's add Ava to the stage and say evening
Top of
to
the evening to you.
Ava Riza. What's going on, sweetheart?
Not too much. We don't have to talk about the Kumia thing. I want to say that me and Panhandler didn't get into an argument. He just violently lashed out on me
Violently?
in my DMs, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I did that about when I came on your show last time." And he's like, "Yes, you did." And then I was like,
That's how I said post it then. Because I didn't post it. Post it. I didn't violently. I mean, your definition of violence and my definition of violence are very, very different.
Can I read it out to everyone?
You can post it if you want.
Is there a way to share it so everyone can see it on the screen?
No, it's easier if you just read it.
It's up to Panhandler.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking me. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. So I think that I make mistakes sometimes because all of these shows have different rules and etiquette, and I recognize that I don't necessarily, I'm newer and I don't understand them, so sometimes I'll just show up and break rules. I think when you were doing your show last time, I came on after arguing with Kumia, and you guys were talking about something else. I felt like me and you are kind of buddies at this point, where like if in an extraordinary situation like that, it wasn't faux pas to come on and just bitch about it. And then you were like, "No, we're doing this," and Schmuel, you were like, "No, we're just doing this thing," and then you're like, "Shut up," and I was like, "Okay," and I thought that was kind of like, yeah, all right. And Schmuel's like, "No, I don't want to talk about that," and I was like, "Okay," but then Panhandler lashed out, so he DMs me. Dude, that shit you pulled last night was a dick move. And then I said, what? And he said, you asked me to get you the link, which I did. Aside from no acknowledgement, you did so for totally selfish fucking reasons. No one had any idea you were on TSN. We thought you wanted to add to the stupid conversation, not continue to simp for Stuttering John. And then I said, LOL.
Wait, is that violent? I love the impression, by the way. It's balls on. That's violent to you?
We'll parse that after.
Okay.
Is this okay, Schmuel?
Yeah, this is perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, so then I say LOL, and then I said, oh, well, I definitely didn't see it on those moral terms, but most definitely sorry and noted for future reference. Panhandler comes back in. There's no fucking other way to see it. You wanted any link to continue whatever battle you have going on, regardless of show or topic. It was a shit move. And then I said, yeah, we're different that way. It's inconceivable for me to look at it that way in any way close to whatever you are raging about. I think another way to see it was that I had an adrenaline rush and got in a fight with TSN and Kumia. They misrepresented what happened as soon as I left, and I saw that you guys were on and felt comfortable with you guys to think that that would be understandable. But loud and clear, dude, my apologies. And then he just never responded.
Okay, so I was not. I'm sending Crumbum wants to come in, and
What's with your lighting right now?
because my computer just fucking it's the screen. I don't have, for some reason, the dark mode is not working on this part. I'm sending
Like
Crumb.
Crumbum?
Yeah, is that a
I think-
problem?
I don't care, but I don't know if he's gonna say something. He's just gonna shit on me for being trans. So am I allowed to argue back, or what are the rules?
Yeah, no. We can. The deal
Yeah, you
is
already set the tone. You already set the tone.
Let
so
me-
it's going to be an
let me-
argumentative show.
Let me finish. Can I? I just
No one's stopping you.
Oh no, I don't care. Look, I got to be honest with you. Arguing, I don't mind. I don't want to be. I just don't want yelling. And what do you call it? But I sent him a message that said no. You're on. So I didn't want to have I don't want to fight. But
I never pursued a fight with him. He just goes at me. So I'm just giving you a heads up in case you don't want, or in
No,
case you
yeah.
tell him not to do that.
I'll
fight him if you want to, but whatever.
Yeah, no. It's all good. I don't care. I really, you can fight all you want. I just
It's your
but-
show, whatever you want. I just want to know what the rules are, and I'll follow.
there are no rules.
I don't want to
The o-
upset
but
Panhandler.
The other night, what happened was we were in the middle of something, right? And then you came on, and it was completely different from what we were doing.
Well, absolutely.
And so and I didn't know about the Kumia stuff and whatnot. And I realized afterwards that you were probably like upset and all that stuff, but it just was not, it wasn't a good time or place because none of the people would have been knowing on.
Exactly. That's how I read the situation. And when you the way you responded, I just was like, oh, they don't. Because a lot of times you know about the stuff before me, Schmuel. Like and sometimes you'll send me a link being like, they're shitting on you. But yeah, as soon as I realized that, and then I was like, okay, me and Schmuel have an understanding. But then Panhandler, like hours later, in the late hours, just started lashing out very angrily.
Well, I think because I might have blamed him. Because I thought, because he said Ava wants the link, right? And I thought, I knew nothing about what was going on. I thought you wanted to participate in this Dabbleverse breakdown we were doing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And so then that was the deal. So
And I had no clue either. I don't watch TSN. I couldn't care less about TSN. I had no idea you were on. I had no idea you were on with Kumia. I think I talked to either in a chat later on the night, either Guru One or maybe even Frank or Opinion, that you were actually on live with Kumia. So that's why it was later. And I was like, what the fuck, man? If you asked me for the link, you could have gave me some context. Like, I want to talk about what just happened with Kumia or something short. I realized you were in a rush and spazzing out or whatever. But just, I thought, okay, Reed, didn't you say, get me the link? And then I said, I'll on it or whatever. And then you said, I only need 4 minutes or whatever. So I thought you wanted to add something to that conversation. That's all. There was no context to what for your request for the link. Again, it's Schmuel's show. I was happy to send it. I sent it as soon as Schmuel said so. Sure. So it wasn't gatekeeping. It was just such a weird, provide some context to what's going on.
I think it's endearing that you got that mad. So I'm not like attacking you. I love you.
You can attack me all you want.
I'm
very sensitive guy.
I'm not. I love you. Panhandler. Like, yeah, but for me, I just kind of look at us three as buddies, and
Sure.
and I knew that Schmuel doesn't necessarily read his DM, so I was just like, oh, let me see if Panhandler. But I didn't make it clear to him, and that's fair. The one thing I will say though, and I think that if you pay attention to this, then maybe you won't be so upset with people a lot. Is your statement that there's no fucking other way to see it. I think if you understand that people don't necessarily see like these motives the way that you do, then you won't get that mad at them. Because I really just didn't look at it that way. But
Well, that's why the world's so fucked up, because they don't see it the way I see it.
I understand.
That's the problem.
I know, but for what it's for, someone like me, when you explained it, I was like, oh shit. And like I said, noted. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to both of you.
I think no, you don't have to be sorry.
This is the way to handle it. Just go straight to that person and say you have a fucking problem.
I wish I don't ever get angry. I just wish I could get mad like you. I just don't have that ability to be angry like that.
I'm always angry. That's the key. You gotta always stay angry. Okay. And there's just different levels to it.
You would have loved me the other night. I was yelling at everybody.
Yeah, he's so fucking cranky the other night.
I was in a pissy mood, and so it was fantastic. Yeah, I just didn't want to. We were doing what we were doing, and that was right, and we're going to go there, and I misunderstood, but I think what happened was I got on Panhandler. I don't usually, but I did. So it really had more to do with my general attitude than that particular thing. But he might have taken it that I was really annoyed at him. So then you got the beating because of it.
Okay.
I don't even think it was a beating. I was just letting her, because I do agree with Ava. I do like Ava. I do like her on the shows. I do like her, even though we couldn't be more different people. Politics, everything, from anything you judge. But I do like her. I respect her. And I do think she's good. She's better than I am at this shit. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I thought we did have some sort of, for lack of a better term, relationship where you could give me a little heads up on what's going on. That was my point.
The only part I'm jumping on is because I said noted for future reference, and then you were like, "There's no other fucking way to see it." But I'm just giving you shit. I love you. It's all good, and I
deserve shit.
I understand both of you. I get it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I really didn't have the motives that you described, but I understand that there's a part of me that might have been just selfish to think that I could do that, and I'm sorry.
No, and nothing. No, I get your point. It is a big deal to have like a showdown with Kumia, who is one of the greatest. Whether you love him or hate her, one of the biggest radio stars this country's ever seen, at least modern history type thing.
And,
so
one of the greatest pussy woman beaters of all time too.
Okay, I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying I would be hyped up too. Like, oh my god, did I just get an argument with?
That's what happened.
Anthony Kumia. So I get that.
Yes. So sorry about that.
All right, fuck off.
Yeah.
Stop
again.
This is making me very uncomfortable.
Nobody needs to be.
I will never get mad at you. So no matter how much you yell, I'm just going to keep saying I love you.
Right, nobody needs to be sorry. No, it was just, it's cool. Cause I mean, I've experienced that, you ever had like the big road rage incident and you're all pissed off at what happened. And then you walk inside and you're like, you can't believe what fucking happened. And nobody cares. They just want to talk about,
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, because I had an adrenaline rush, because like going at Kumia is a pretty intense thing, and then like the blowback, and then also arguing with Schmuel and all them and getting thrown off. I was in the middle of that adrenaline rush.
But I want to go back to a comment in the chat, and you might have been just chipping me or whatever, but you said I should not own a firearm. Do you truly believe that?
No, I was just busting your balls.
Okay, I was just curious.
If that makes you feel better, you should have one.
Cigarette Jones, Ava was great on TSN. I haven't seen it yet. So we're going to do that. And then we're working out behind the scenes, somebody else to help us with, clips and shit to help me run them. Cause I haven't had time to, I don't know, time is a real problem for me. So I haven't had a lot of time to pull shit out, but, I would have pulled that clip, had I thought about it.
Well, can Ava provide some context to what, because I still not, I know where somebody did a clip or whatever.
Right, I'm on my way there. We're getting there.
The context for the TSN thing.
We have to fill. We got some time to fill. So I want to ask Ava, like, I want to know about the Kumia thing, right? But I also want to know about this Stuttering John stuff. And what I guess where I'm really going with this is, you've been kind of all over lately. Right? And unlike Clearwater Chad, you've been making news as you've been doing it. So I got somebody who likes the show and follows us, and I don't on Twitter, and I wish I could remember who the guy was, but he was like, "I can't believe she was such a turncoat," and that was before the Kumia stuff. You were on Stuttering John, is that correct, or were you on after?
I
Well,
was on, and then the Kumia stuff was the result of all of them on TSN watching the clip of me going on John's show.
all right, so take us there. What happened on John's show?
The context of it is like the week that I came out to my family, I went on John's show for the first time. And then when that happened, all of these shows asked me to come on, and I could have like jumped on it and whatever, and I didn't. And I just disappeared from the Dabbleverse for 2 years. And then this year, I went on John's show on his last show, and went on and then betrayed him by going on Kumia's show afterwards when they were reviewing the clips of me on his show this time. And so, but the thing that was interesting about it was that he never insulted me or was mad, publicly made a comment about that betrayal. And then he disappeared, and then he came back. And when he came back, 3 days in a row, he took a shot at me on the show. And so I DM'd him being like, come on, like, I didn't like say anything mean about you. And I pointed out that there's a lot of things people wanted me to do to betray him that I didn't do.
We're talking about Stuttering John now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he didn't respond. And then a couple of weeks go by. And so a few days, this last weekend, I was like painting upstairs in my room, and I get an email saying that it's John sending me the link to go on his show. So I just like nervously walk downstairs totally sober and just go on his show. And then he just, did you see that or?
I haven't seen anything. Anything.
What's up, Dave?
Yo.
I see. I let Dave watch all this stuff and then tell me about it.
So, in a nutshell, John kind of like, he gave me shit, but like all of the times that he's been talking shit about me since he came back, I could tell that like there was like some love there. And so he was just like, why you got to turn on me? And he was wasted. And so he said that I hurt his feelings. And I was like, I didn't realize that you gave a shit what I, like if I make fun of you, like, cause who the fuck am I? And then he said it hurt his feelings, and I said, sorry. And so then TSN were covering that, and they're like, how can she apologize to John and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, for me, it was just like, well, I don't know. I didn't.
So wait, so I want to put this, I'm just going to try to put this in a little bit of order for our audience here. So you went on John's show before he left the last time, right?
I was on his last episode. And
you
so
were on his, okay, but you were on, but wait. But you were on before that, and then you went on Point Dabble Point or TSN or something, correct?
2 years
or
ago.
WATP?
2 years ago, I just went on his show when he was in a fight with Kumia back then, just being a trans person that he had on the show while he was in the middle of that fight. And then I just kind of nervously did this appearance and then disappeared for 2 years. Came back on his last show, and then afterwards kind of threw him under the bus with TSN. And then at that point, I went on TSN every week for like 13 weeks, I think, or like 12 weeks in a row. And then Point Dabble Point would have me on, and Who Are These Podcasts would have me on.
Wow, you're a double cross-dresser.
That's good.
All right. So I'm just clarifying again. So when you say John's last show, you mean the last iteration of John's show, not the last show that he did on New Year's Eve, right?
I basically like entered the Dabbleverse 6 months ago, and the first appearance was the last show John did before he went on that long break. And then during that break, I went on TSN regularly in Point Dabble Point.
So wait. I could have sworn you were on TSN a long time ago, or WATP, that you did a show with John, and then like a week later or something, you were on WATP or TSN.
That's all.
Am I wrong?
That's all this year. Like 6 months ago.
Holy! All right.
I know. I don't realize that either. But yeah, I've only been here. But that's why I'm still a rookie. So that's why when Panhandler lashed out like an animal, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
See, blame it on being a rookie. I'll blame it on being a boomer. There you go. Everybody's got an excuse.
That's right.
All right. So what I saw was my remembrance of this, my version of this is, so you went on John. John was very proud to have a trans person on his show. And he was doing everything he could to treat you with respect. And it was hard. You could see it was hard for him because it wasn't there. But then he was trying to talk about your music. He really wanted to be like a friend.
He was doing his best, like, to someone that just interjected himself into his life twice. He was doing the best he could to just kind of be accommodating and just show support for a trans person. But I was like, yeah.
Right. And then you went on the Shuli Network, right?
And then, yeah, I totally betrayed
How
him.
long after the appearance on John did you go on Shuli?
Like, literally, like, when they were covering that appearance, so, like, 4 days later.
Right. And then, so and that was, you were another one that turned on him.
Yes, I turned
Right. And betrayed him and whatnot. All right. So then we fast forward to, you had not been on his show until the New Year's Eve show.
Oh, no, and after his last show, I was on it. This last weekend, I went on his show.
Right. I'm sorry. We're going back. I'm trying to put a timeline together here. So you go on John's show the first time, then you go on TSN. When is the next time you went on John's show?
This last weekend.
Next time, not last time. Did you go on John's show on you said you were on John's show on New Year's Eve, his last show, right?
I don't think that was New Year's Eve.
December 31st. The day he left, the last time he left for 8 months was New Year's Eve.
Was that? I don't think that was New Year's Eve.
Oh my God.
Yeah, whatever it was, that was the last time I went on.
All right. So then what was the length of time between the last time you went on and then this time when you went on?
Fucking Christ.
Jesus Christ.
On?
Ava, it's not that hard.
I think it's you, Schmuel, and I don't even like Ava right now. I think it's your fault.
All right.
I think this is you, and I think, yeah, it's probably what he went on a hiatus, and then when he came back, I was on his show. He did a bunch of episodes, like last week or whatever, and then he addressed me, and then during those, he addressed me turning on him, and then this last weekend, he just randomly sent me the link, and that
okay.
was
I think all I was trying to find out was, after you turned on him, the next time you went on his show was not this week. You went on it before he left for the last time, right?
Schmuel, what are you trying to establish? What does it matter? Where does this take us to fucking what happened?
Because I'm trying to figure. Well, I don't understand why it's so complicated, but two, I'm because I'm trying to figure out John, right? I want to figure out, how did he treat her? Why did he treat her the way that he treated her? Look at Dave. I'm losing everybody. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop.
We're getting way too.
I'm just gonna stop.
The bottom line is, like, I was on his last show before he went on hiatus. He went on hiatus, and then he had me on.
I just wanted to add a little tag to my Hamlet, even though he looks like a pig.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Continue.
All right.
Why are you being so tedious tonight, Schmuel?
It's what I am. I'm tedious. This is mine. This is what I do.
He's a 17th century dandy. He can be quite pedantic. For any,
I am a pedantic little fucker, I will say.
Fans out there.
I love Schmuel.
All right. Okay.
The movie while we do the show.
So this is what I'm trying. All right. What I was really trying to do is I'm trying to break down the difference between John and what do you call it? And then going on Kumia, right? So basically, you went on John, you turned on John, according to John, by going on TSN. Then you came back on John. I didn't know you were on the last show. Then you came back on this past week or so. Mm-hmm. So what happened when you came back on?
He kind of berated me, and I nervously apologized and was like, "I'm sorry." And I was just like, "Look, I betrayed you, but you disappeared, and for me, it was like an opportunity to start streaming, and so I took you under the bus." And then he was like, "Okay." I mean, he gave me shit, but then that was it.
Okay. Did you feel like you turned on him?
Not to the extent that he described. He was like, when I was on his show, he was like, I thought that he was making we were really close friends, and that I hurt him. And that was the one part where I was just like,
now, Ava, I have a question.
What's up?
Was there a premeditated attempt to double cross him? Or did the double cross come after you grew to hate him and despise his antics?
I never grew to
Answer the
hate
question,
him.
Ava.
I never grew to
If
hate
that's your
him.
real name.
I never grew to hate him. Just TSN was covering the interview, and they were like, "Hey, Ava, come on," and then so I was like, "Okay," and then we just kind of made fun of that appearance I was on. But I never like, yeah, but it was always like we're just making fun of like his boogers and shit. There was no like, all of this is not like so premeditated, you know,
Right.
including everything this week.
So the way it appeared to me was you just wanted to go on shows, right? You run on shows. You went on John's show, right? No commitment. You weren't paid the original, like you weren't paid. It wasn't like you made any kind of commitment. And then
Not-
you went on Shuli and he got all pissed off because if you go on his show, you're not supposed to go on Shuli's show.
That's the only other context is I didn't listen to the Stern show when it was on, but I discovered it like around the time Adam Bush like talked about getting back into it through YouTube. So I was at the peak of being a super fan of just watching old age like Howard TV clips, like when John had me on. And so to me, like going on John's show was like the biggest deal to me ever because none of my friends watched the show or like Stern or anything. So yeah, and then so after that, then like Shuli, who was also on the Stern show, which I'm a massive fan on, was talking about me. So I was just like, oh, I'll go on that. You know, it's just me being a super fan of the Stern show. That's it.
Well, if Ava's been on Schmuel Buckman, she'll eventually get on MLC because that's the pattern.
Yeah, I think I'm a massive Stern fan, and there's a lot of people in the Dabbleverse that don't have that.
So you were really excited to go on with Stuttering John then?
Yeah, to me it was like meeting like a celebrity, like to someone else, like seeing like their fame. Like, yeah, can I explain how much?
Do you think you're more or less excited than Karmic X? If that's your real name.
Karmic X on MLC is like me when I was on John's show. Like I was just like,
Yeah, you were so passive this last time. Like I was really disappointed. You were so that's a perfect like analogy. You were Karmic's when he's on MLC. You were just so nice to him and just kind of sitting there, and he was such a drunk fucking mess.
but you have to understand, like there wasn't a discussion of me going on that show, and so I just like if I come on your show, I have some time to think about it or whatever. With John, it's just you just get a link, and I hadn't like really even worked out what my feelings about him or any of that were, and so I just went on raw like that. So yeah, that's kind of what you saw.
So you got the honest Ava.
All of it's honest.
Honest Ava. You didn't have time to plan it out.
No, like everything I say is honest, and that's why I stand by. Like when TSN was criticizing that appearance, it's like everything I said to John was true. So yeah, I just wasn't, boisterous.
Oops. OG Mumbling Nick is invading Panhandler's territory. Look at this little high Kina.
You guys got to stop with the shit. You got to stop.
Funny of you to point that out, Ava, although I give some leeway.
Point what out?
Kina K, Ava, tell it like it is.
I do.
All right. I know. So, well, you didn't with John.
Yeah, right.
Guess,
You just came on here hot at me. To not have that same energy with John, who's much more, famous for lack of a better term and bigger in this universe, is crazy to me. Like he wanted you to come on and kiss the ring, and you fucking did. You bent the knee. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck? I thought you would.
I cut myself short because I'm uncomfortable to talk about myself, but like to be clear, like I do feel like this kinship with John because I know you all
right. It's something very deeply personal that you shared with him, right? I get that. I'm not.
No,
even
he like
sarcastic.
literally was one of the first people I like came out to, and the way so many of my friends found out that I was trans was through them seeing that video of me going on John's show, and he was like, he was nice to me throughout all those things, and I know people are saying that he used me, but like on a certain level, I used his situation with Kumia to get on the show in the first place too. So like I don't have the same like people are so like especially now like it's just like it was when I went on a show. People are DMing me like they're like, Carl was protecting you. People have this weird like parasocial like loyalty test, and they can't process that someone just doesn't think about things like that. It was like John was nice to me, and he grilled me, but like I don't think he did it in a mean way, and he said that I hurt him. So whether or not people think that he's lying or not, in that moment, I'm gonna say, okay, if I hurt you, I'm sorry. I didn't think you gave a shit what I thought.
I mean, other than the obvious reason, you know, you look like an amalgamation of all his kids put into one. You know, really just kind of fucking.
You gotta fix your mic there, Mr. Sarah.
Okay. So what's it? Too loud? Too low?
Too low.
Too low. But
Is that
but
better?
Ava, did you miss all of the shit that John said about you after you went on TSN, or did you see that stuff? This is back in the original.
He never said anything about me ever until those 3 times when he first came back. He brought up how I betrayed him.
Test.
You're still low, Dave.
Okay.
As I remember, when you went on TSN,
He emailed
he did
me.
shit on you.
No, no, he didn't. He emailed me being like, these people are transphobes. But he never made a public. He never tweeted or he never said anything about. He did not address me turning on him until this recent comeback, like a week or 2 ago.
Okay. I seem to remember him saying that you turned on him and all that other stuff.
He did.
But that's what John does. He plays the victim. He wants everybody to kiss his ass, and then he wants people to feel badly for him when he's such a terrible human being on every single level. That it's just wild to me. It's just wild. And people
now.
No, you're still low, Dave.
Okay.
But how
Still low?
like?
Okay.
But what about like?
Hi.
What about people like Carl and Schmuel? Like, it's been like this many years. It's just all they do. Like, I was watching Carl, and they were just doing the watching Aaron Emholt, which again, like I just don't care about. But like, they still are just watching that him trying to make the timer, whatever. It's just like at a certain point, it's just like, aren't they just? When is it pathetic? Where it's just like.
This is all pathetic. All of us in this world are pathetic.
So why are we? Why are you judging? Why are you? And I'm pathetic, but like, why are we judging?
Okay.
Jesus, Dave, that's like.
Dave,
all right.
how do you not know how to make your audio work? But like, why is John? I feel like at this point, it's just. This guy was your.
Dave, you got your computer mic on or something, man.
Dave, it's like we're at we've got our ear to a conch and we're listening to the ocean sounds.
I just feel like at this point, like, you can make the argument that John, like, this whole thing does revolve on the existence of John, and John coming back is something. And honestly, he's more interesting to me than watching Carl and Schmuel just like nitpick someone, like, in a way that kind of makes it look like you guys are just miserable and you just are trying and you're just really nitpicking.
Well, A, I am miserable, but B, he only came back to keep his monetization. Like many shows have established that, right? He doesn't come on to really do a show. He comes back for like get a little ego boost and people know me and this, that, the other thing. But the main reason was to keep his channel monetized. That's it.
Who cares?
And he wants to, I mean, what kind of 64-year-old or however old making a big deal about his fucking birthday? I mean, he's just so sad. It's just so sad. But who cares when it's like when people are like, as a man, I'm offended if you're over 21 and you care about your birthday. 100%.
I'm very with you about this birthday, about anyone celebrating their birthday like that. I think it's weird. I don't. We
need to shorten the birthday song to literally just the last 2 lines.
But
Happy birthday, dear something.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Your audio is all fucked up still, Dave.
Is it loud or soft now?
It's loud now, but we hear everything. Like it's a
okay. Go to the audio devices menu and then look at whatever USB mic is.
We know. I know. I mean, it's gonna pick up everything.
Apparently, somehow you don't.
Okay, I'll turn this down then.
I just enjoy this because Dave likes to shit on me for
it picks up everything. Is what I've been using lately.
And somebody got me a Stream Deck.
Yeah,
I showed it to Dave, and Dave's first comment was, "Oh, another device you're gonna fuck up using." So
well, I mean, we all fuck up device. I mean, for whatever reason, my audio setting for these mics, they keep reverting back to like every time I restart my computer, it goes back to like 12% and 45%. But I just
if you're a person at this point that knows you go on streams regularly, why would you?
No, I don't want to use the Rodecaster anymore. It takes up too much room, so I'm using this now.
Just get like a knockoff.
This is what I have for now.
But
I just lost my job.
What
Get a-
Find me a microphone then.
I'll send
Avi,
you.
you're acting like this is MLC and he cares.
I don't care.
This is me. He doesn't give a shit.
No, I use the same
But
mic
isn't
on
it
MLC
embarrassing
too.
that you can't make your audio work for you?
I mean, you
All
can hear
right.
me, can't you, bitch?
Sam
No,
Bibley's
it's
100.
room
Stop
noise.
bitching then.
It's room noise.
Sam Bibley's
cares?
100% correct here. Schmuel, Ava needs to know that the chat is loving her anti-Carl rhetoric.
I
Here,
need
you
to
happy?
know?
Here.
He's basically saying the chat has been agreeing with you.
Oh, that's
But
kind of
Dave's mic is bouncing all around and we can't hear anything. So go ahead.
yeah. I mean, like just on the basis of just not being a nuisance when you're on a show, Dave. Why not like have your mic figured out? You can get one for like $15 on Amazon that sounds just like an SM58. Okay, that's my point. It's just like at a certain like we're all in this Dabbleverse, and it's like Carl and Julia like what like who are they and Kumia like who are they to fucking shit on John? Like Kumia's like a fucking loser that just like sits there all day just rage posting. He doesn't have an original take on anything regarding politics, and everyone like sucks his dick like he does like some great show on AM radio. It's like he like fills in for Bill O'Reilly on that network, and it's like is that like what
I mean, Kumio's still a great broadcaster. Whether he's not the same Kumio as he was 15 years ago, fine, whatever. We all change and different. And yes, he's leaned into the the Trumpism and the just going even further right. But this is always who Kumia was. It's not like he just became with the the racist talk or anything like that. I mean, he always with Patrice, he always did that stuff. So I mean, I don't think that's new. I mean,
it's very important for you to understand that I'm not saying that this in terms of what his politics are. I'm saying that what made him a great broadcaster on Opie and Anthony is like, of course, I mean, he said like racist shit back then too.
Yep.
I think racist and transphobic shit is funny, like if you make jokes. I'm making the argument that he doesn't have that anymore. He's just a standard hack political commentator, and on his other show there's no clips of him being funny like he used to be, and like the only time people really care is if he talks about Opie and John, and that's kind of my bigger point.
But they're funny things to talk about. I mean, it's like you're saying, oh,
but
you don't do this other stuff well, but you do it. And then you do Opie and John and you're funny. So why not do more Opie and John?
Guru One, an SM58 is a dynamic microphone. It doesn't matter if it's on stage or in a studio. If you have an SM58, it sounds great, and it doesn't have feedback or room noise. Wrong.
Okay.
What was your
Can we
question
stop
again?
the audio talk, please?
Okay.
All right. Again, this is what I'm saying. You said like, oh, he does all this hack comedy stuff, right? But when
No. He's a hack. He's a hack political commentator.
All right, hack political commentator, but when he's not politically commentating and he's commentating on John and with whoever the other guy who was the Steel Toe, he's funny, right?
No, I'm making the argument that the only way he gets traction or people will watch a clip of things from Compound is if it's just him talking about Opie or John. But when he does it, it's just like, oh, what a loser. If you like review his appearances on TSN, like, and actually pay attention to him, whether or not he's being funny, he doesn't have any good jokes. Even when he was arguing with me, like he didn't even have any like solid trans jokes. Like he had like, it took him 10 minutes to come up with a prostate joke, and other than that, he was just stunned by just being called out. He doesn't have it anymore. Grandpa's got to give up the keys. Can't drive anymore. And he's a pervert that took a 16-year-old to prom when he was 55.
She was 18, but that's okay.
17.
18. And 17 was legal in New York at the time.
15.
Why does everybody respond to that with the legal aspect of it? He makes moral claims about black people and trans people and all these people, and I'm saying, who the fuck are you to make moral claims? You're a woman beater. You have guns. You sit there playing video games. You're the profile of a violent person, and you took a high schooler to prom when you were like in your 50s.
And
That's
my
just
hero.
bizarre. That's my point. It's not that
He was in his 40s, but It's
It's a-
If they
okay.
had a
I have a feeling that Ava, like,
It-
if
it's
you're
a di- it's a-
straight and
it's a
you're
different-
white
it's
and
a
you're male,
different-
you're a violent person. I think that's Ava's take on.
No, I'm very careful to not make that point. And if you knew me when everyone was jumping on white people and making points about white men, I was the person that was lecturing my liberal friends about it. I don't look at it that
Well,
way at
you
all.
are one, aren't you? Or was?
What?
You were one.
I was what?
Why? What nationality are you?
Oh, you're saying
Pakistani.
I was a man.
No,
what?
you're a white person. I mean, whatever, woman or man.
I'm
It's
Pakistani.
already
I'm
ambiguous.
Pakistani.
I was born in Pakistan, and
Are
I
you
grew
really
up.
Pakistani?
Yeah.
And I grew up.
Wow, I like you so much more now.
And I grew up in the.
And
I grew up in the place.
Bangladesh, dude. Fuck India, funk Bangladesh.
I don't think so. I think that we actually Pakistanis did a genocide in Bangladesh. So I think that the Pakistan
Whatever. I
But-
like who I like, right?
I was born there, but I grew
Fuck
up
'em
in
both.
but I grew up in the town that Kumia lives in now in South Carolina. Like I literally grew up like 5 minutes away from where he lives. So
All right.
Wow.
So
What in a
And
swamp?
look, I'm not defending Kumia. I'm just gonna, but I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate here, right? Kumia has never claimed he's anything but a piece of shit, right? And Stuttering John has been claiming forever, and Steel Toe as well, claim that they're great guys and great family men and very successful and all that. And Kumia, the whole deal with Kumia was he was a piece of shit, and that's why he was funny, right?
I think that's a fair point in that framework. But I'm hitting him on two levels. Where he's responsible in a certain. He's taking part in this whole, like, thing where people are making like trans people out to just be like these like shooters, and I think that I'm responding to that too. And so I'm making the argument that what moral claim does he have when I'm a trans person that literally has never hit anyone or ever thought about violence, and he's the one parading violence. He's the pedo, and all he does is spurn hate. And I was just saying that he's a hack. I don't know. I'm just calling out. And my point was, and you never have anyone to challenge that. He spends 12 hours a day on Twitter, just like hatefully shitting on
But
all
that's
kinds
Twitter.
of
I mean, that's Twitter. That's the whole platform.
I'm just saying that he spends a lot of time every day just shitting on all kinds of groups of people, and he has a political show, and he doesn't have anyone from any of those groups defend themselves. And I called him out on it on TSN, and he responded by being like, "All right, well, I'll have you on Thursday," and then he pushed out of the debate.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Did anybody from TSN reach out? I thought he said that he was going to have them reach out to you to send the contact information or the link or whatever. Did you hear from anybody from Schmuel's show?
I checked in with Frog 3 times today, and he just never sent the thing. Yeah. And then I went on and I chatted into TSN before I was here, pointing that out, and then everyone was just like shitting on me for being trans. And then Kumia made a trans joke and didn't address how he bitched out on the debate. And people are making excuses, and for me, it's like if someone like me calls you out about not having debates with people, and then that you shit on for 12 hours a day, and you respond by saying, "All right, well, I'm going to have you on the show in front of everyone on TSN's audience," and then you just ghost and don't show up for it, there's no excuse or angle that all of like these TSN people are making up about it. Like, he has to show up for the debate. I took that time off.
Right, but I mean,
I prepared for that debate, and if I didn't show up and he followed through on what he said he was going to do, then they would all be like, "Oh, fucking Ava pushed out of the debate."
No, you have a point there. If you took time off for work and you prepared for it, but at the same time, he is, regardless what you think of him, he's still a name, and it could have been something else, or he got bumped for bigger, whatever reason. Like, I hope he does
earlier, but then he should let me know.
Yeah, I agree. Just like
was this debate?
Like you should have let me know why you wanted to come on the show.
Was this debate thing scheduled, Ava? Like, was it scheduled? It was scheduled. All right.
He
said on Thursday.
The Thursday episode of the Anthony Kumia show. He said it directly to everyone in the audience when I called him out for never debating people on his show when he talks about that shit. And he bailed out. And he didn't tell Frog or anyone in Schmuel's network. And he didn't do what he said he was going to do, which was have me on the show and send the link to Frog. And there's no way around it. Like, you can't do that. And if he wanted to bump me, he could have just told Frog. But, like, I'm sorry. If you're going to spend... and then all day he was just tweeting about trans people. So it's just like, oh, you can't let the person that was supposed to debate you that's trans, that would be the first time somebody would even come on your show. like that took off work and prepared for it. And honestly, it's a hostile environment for me to go into. Like, and I did all that, and I'm sorry. I understand he's a
But it was
big
just going to be
name.
you and him on his show, right? On his
Yep,
YouTube
yep.
show, not Compound Censored, just the
No,
his-
on Compound.
on Compound. Okay, I'd love to see you and Gavin.
Well, I love Gavin. Like, to me, Gavin is the opposite of Anthony. Like, Gavin is like a
Gavin is more right wing than Anthony is.
I think that's what people get mistaken about this, where it's just like about whether or not they're right wing or racist or transphobic. It's not that. Like, the critique about Anthony is that he has hack takes, and that's the thing that he took exception to. Like, Gavin is like a free thinker that doesn't just read Heritage Foundation talking points and like thinks about issues like for himself. And I think that he's an interesting broadcaster. I'm making the argument that Kumia is not.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you get the link eventually.
And people are like, "Will you go on BYB?" And it's like, I'm around transphobic people in this Dabbleverse.
You were just
all
on
the time.
BYB. You were just
Yeah,
on BYB
but
the
it's
other
not
day.
about whether or not you're transphobic. It's like, I'm talking about specifically the way he does it and how he's too much of a coward to have those conversations. People
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Do you agree with that word transphobic? Like that description? Like, I think that's a weird word. Like, are people really afraid? Or it's just another bigotry, right? I just think it's such a weird term.
That's what, like, one of the things that makes me so angry about like woke liberalism is that it removed, like, the reason that bigotry and racism and all those words had meaning was something that was not a political thing. It's the sense that you will just judge somebody in a group and not their individual character. And because of the policing and all that shit that the liberals did, it gave these right wingers an in to just go full overcorrection. And so now there's no word to describe that. But
Yeah, I tweeted all the time: racist, bigot, misogynist. Those words have lost all meaning. When I get called that,
Exactly.
you
So
guys overplayed that hand for the last,
I didn't. I was
I'm
one of
just
those.
saying, I know. I'm busting
I was
on
that
you.
annoying. I was that
The left
annoying. I was
overplayed
the
that.
annoying person in the room yelling at my lefty friends about.
Why do you think they what do you mean they overplayed the hand, though?
Just anything you did was either racist, misogynist, transphobic, xenophobic. Like, it was just like the right is doing now to people that are making comments about the Kirk assassination. The left did 10 years ago when it started with Me Too, and then it just kind of progressed, and then BLM, obviously, and the trans they were around the same time as far as, getting a lot of attention from the media. I mean, it was always weird to me, and don't take offense. I mean, if trans people are less than 1% of the population, and it's just talked about on the media nonstop. I don't understand that at all. So there obviously is an agenda here, and I'm not even saying it's the fault of the trans people. It's the media pushing for whatever reason, the corporate media or legacy media, whatever you want to say. So
I think it was the corporate Democratic Party that, instead of like standing up for working people, just became corporatists that just used trans people and culture wars to do it, and they fucked over trans people with that.
Yep. Agreed.
That's the thing is like talking to actual libertarians. Like, I'm like a leftist, but like a civil libertarian, and they're consistent with their principles. People like Anthony are just nihilists and will not be consistent. Like, he's not saying what Panhandler just said.
We called me a nihilist too. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so I which I agree with, by the way. I'm not offended by it, but I don't think Anthony and I are the same. I probably agree with him more than I agree with you, but I think the problem the left runs into too, if I don't like a leftist, I'm automatically a Republican or a Trump supporter or a populist. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just such a weird, this binary polarization. You're either one or the other, where there is, like you said, you're more of, I would say, maybe kind of Bernie Sanders-ish, AOC. I'm kind of in that camp a little bit more than the current, the Biden type stuff. Democrats, in my opinion.
No, that's a good point. I need to think about, you made a good point about how I'm called both of you nihilists, and let me think about that, and I'll have a response for you at some point. I think, but I think that's the other problem. That's the problem that you run into as a trans person too, is like the representation are just the people that want to go on Twitter and post online, and those are typically the most like, belligerent people. And then I think there are a lot of leftists and trans people that are just quietly, like I was before I started coming into the Dabbleverse, just living their lives and not getting involved, because people that aren't histrionic don't want to even get into that fight online. So people just see these representations that I think have led us to this chaotic moment where people I don't think are being represented by the way they're depicted online,
Right.
because the people
Yeah, I mean that's what the media does. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
look, I mean, for a time, the media, anytime there was a shooting, right, the media was looking to pin it on Trump supporters. And what we saw happening is you would see somebody, the guy in Buffalo who shot up the top supermarket, right, killed 10 people,
hmm
um, racist, white nationalist, crazy stuff. The guy who shot up the congressional baseball game, not so
left.
much, right? It's like, well, we don't really know what he was doing. So it was very like it was the media was willing to jump at one thing and then all of a sudden discover journalistic integrity when it was somebody else. And so I just think they're whores. So I think what they'll do is whatever sells. So if transphobia, if now labeling everybody trans who's shooting people up makes the media money, that's what they're going to do. And
And you see,
fairness and justice be
there's
damned.
absolutely. I would challenge the way the media covered the shooting, because I don't think that they were protective of the left in it. I think that they, in my memory of it, they it wasn't like a partisan thing. Like when I was preparing for this Kumia thing, which I spent time thoughtfully doing, I did look at all of the shootings that have happened that are from people that are leftist shootings, and then right wing shootings, and then white supremacist shootings, and then all of the acts of violence and murder that were committed by trans people. And it was really stunning to really look at those numbers, because it's all absurd. But yeah,
Well, look, the number of trans people are tiny, but I get
but
and
but 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 what you can't say that, because they have it both ways. Like when that suits their argument, they challenge that. But then when it's with sports, then is overrepresentation or underrepresentation. There's no consistency about it, because everyone just wants everything to be trans people are doing everything wrong in your life,
yeah,
and
but
they
look, you
hallucinating.
can't look, but Avi, you can't. I'm sorry. There's no way that I am going to believe that a male to female trans person. So is that a trans woman? Um, there's no way that I'm going to believe that they can fairly compete in women's sports.
That's fine. That's fair.
All right, and so
I'm talking about the violence thing. That's totally fair.
right, but we're talking about, and see that's what happens is like you would say I would see people who would say, look, it's not fair to these girls that have worked, in women's sports and put all this work in to have like a guy come in, and the guy in Connecticut particularly who the trans woman whatever who was winning all the races, and the girls that had worked so hard to do it, there was no way they could win against the guy. It just
But
or I
but
kept saying the guy, and but and
but can't we update the file? Like that was the case. That just like what we were talking about the woke Democrats. That was the case. There has been a correction, and if we like fast forward to like the last year and the last election, there is a overcorrection from that. The Democratic Party didn't run on trans issues this last time. They threw trans people under the bus, as someone like me would have expected, because we were just a political pawn. And people and policy has changed. There's been a correction for that, and you don't see like you're not going to see a mainstream Democrat like going to bat on trans sports anymore. So that has been corrected.
well, it's only been corrected as of January, because prior to January, if you banned
Yeah,
if you did any of the if you said no, trans women can't compete, um the Justice Department would come after you. So
we agree. I would only challenge not January. I would say probably somewhere in mid last year, or like before this last election cycle. I think
yeah,
that
I don't think Biden was doing anything.
Kamala Harris was not. They were pulling up that clip from her from 4 years before, but she wasn't touching that issue either. And you had mainstream Democrats like going against trans sports issues, and that's fine.
Right. which would right, but which would be fine. But I think
So
what
my point
happens
is just that
is
there's a correction.
no,
The
but my
correction.
right, but my point is all right. So I say I don't think that trans women should compete in women's sports, and the next thing I know, and this is Panhandler's point is, then I'm racist. I'm labeled transphobic, and I hate trans people, on and on, and that's not true at all.
I don't think that's. I think that the trend has gone the other way since that correction we were discussing, and I imagine that'll happen less and less. I mean, you can find fringe cases, but you're not going to find mainstream people in the Democratic Party, which I don't even like. We're just talking about cultural shifts. I don't see that. I see that becoming less and less of a problem as time goes on. I think there's going to be a correction about trans sports and about hormone replacement therapy for people under 18, and I think that's fair.
Okay, so I'm going to put this up because Sam Bibley makes a good point. One of them was an isolated weirdo who hurt one person. The other was a mass shooter who was part of an explicitly white nationalist movement of mass shooters with around 100 bodies and 6 people. 100 bodies and 6 people. The guy in Buffalo killed 10, but we also have the trans kid at the school in the South,
Tennessee.
right?
It's Tennessee.
Tennessee, and then we have
The
the
Catholic
other,
school.
right?
That's
We have
disputed. That if you get into that, you're not going
But
to.
let's not. I mean, we don't. I mean,
Yeah.
let's. I think we're getting off the
shooter-
page
shooter-
here.
the-
no. I
think
think I think we're on the page. Let's assume that it was right, but which came first is the question, right? Did this person have mental illness first, and then thought, well, changing my gender would help that? I mean, I think a lot of people's problem. I know this is my particular problem with the trans stuff is, no, because I don't.
it's the cock. That's the problem.
Nah, I love I mean, I got no
But
problem with trans people, but I do have. Society throughout history has come up with solutions to problems that have just destroyed people's lives, and we've talked about this. And this is where you and I got into our first argument, Ava, where I was talking about performing surgeries on young people or hormone replacement therapy, at 10 and 11 years old.
Our argument wasn't about that as a concept. It was about me stating to you what it takes to get health insurance to cover those, and you just saying no, and me being like, no, that's true, and then we.
Well, because we're talking about right, but we're talking about two different places. If you ever read, if you read, did you read Abigail Shire's book?
I'm not talking about Oregon. I'm saying like the standard insurance policy for that from any major health insurance company, not even counting. We're not talking about Medicaid. Is that in order for a private insurance company to cover hormone replacement therapy for someone under 18 involves 1 year of mental counseling, 1 year of lab tests, et cetera, and that if somebody pursues that, even me as an adult in the most liberal state, because it doesn't matter that I live in Oregon, it took like 3 years for me to be able to get insurance to cover breasts, and that's as an adult. So
right,
as somebody under 18, like it's the same thing, and that's.
But my issue is, we talk about a place like California where somebody says, my name is Schmuel, and I want to be called Schmuel, and I want to wear dresses at school. I want to be addressed as a female, and I don't want you telling my parents.
I think that that's a good policy debate, and I think that anyone that has issues with that, I totally understand. I wouldn't passionately fight it all the way, but I think that you can use, like someone like me that doesn't believe in the Bible and the way that affects academics. You could make an argument that this should be a localized issue, and if the district and the parents vote that they are okay with that, then it should be that way. But I can understand why somebody would disagree.
All right, I guess I think what I'm trying to go back to and what I'm trying to point out is what happens is you can't have that debate, because if somebody picks that side, then they're automatically labeled transphobic, whereas Panhandler is saying, on the other side, it's exactly the same thing. Somebody comes out and says something about negative about Charlie Kirk, and we want their throat. It's like we don't do nuance in our society, right?
I'm.
We
I
don't
understand.
do
I understand.
issues.
The reason I asked you for you to update the file on this to this year is like let's talk about where we're at right now because some of we like there is a correction for that where these conversations are happening and the people on the left don't have that power to just be shut that down. They have to have those conversations. I always wished that they had those conversations because I think that parents should be able to have that discussion because a lot of people are like, what the fuck is going on with trans people? And I think that's going to be more and more normalized to have that discussion. The one thing that upsets me is that in the last 3 months is just this psychotic obsession with like people are like Kumia are peddling that just really has nothing to do with any of the things that matter about being trans. It's an absolutely unrealistic portrayal about transitioning or what it's like to be on HRT. And it's just vile hatred for a group of people like in the same way bigotry has always existed and trans people are just the new chopping block because people need all of the problems to be because they're trans because those people if they don't then they have to accept that Donald Trump has failed them, that people still can't buy houses, that he lied about Epstein, that everything he said he's just in all of the things that the corporate Republican people did, Donald Trump did, all the things that he promised the Rust Belt, all the things he promised with manufacturing, he lied about. So right now people are poor and struggling just as much, if not more. If you look at credit scores, the credit scores reports this week, if you look at Donald Trump being like, yeah, we shouldn't even have quarterly jobs reports anymore because they're bad. They need, so people, when people are poor, this is why impoverished countries all over the world never are able to reach a certain level, is because when people are poor and struggling, then they turn to this type of bigotry. And the whole thing right now is focused on trans people and immigrants, and people like Kumia are taking it to an extreme level where somebody like me who like is mourning Charlie Kirk's death like suddenly has to realize that I'm being accused of it. And it's really sick that there's now this
But
everything's just blending into this hallucination of trans people, and that's kind of what's making me speak out about it.
But Sam had an interesting chat a while ago, and I know we've passed it. Is he was asking me if do I feel, and I'm going to screw it up. Sorry, Sam. That racism is as to the level as the media portrays. Since I'm an old man and I've been through a lot, I don't work much anymore. But when I did work, I worked in a very blue collar industry. People of all colors, shapes, sizes, this, that, the other. Everybody pretty much got along, man. There wasn't a lot of problems. There wasn't a lot of issues. I'm not saying they were best friends or hanging out with each other or going to dinner, but there wasn't like N-words dropped or didn't want to eat lunch or go to the break room if this person was there. So I do believe the media does racism still exist? 100%, absolutely. But is it as bad as the media portrays? In my experience, and I've lived in New Jersey, I've lived in Florida, I've lived in kind of very liberal areas, and I've lived in very cracker, white, honky areas. And the funny thing is, to me, in the rural areas, the black and white people get along better in my experience than they do in the cities by a vast level. So it's funny to me when they always talk about these redneck white people or these farmers or whatever. When I've been in rural areas, there's been fewer issues than in the cities. So I know that was a very long-winded way to answer, Sam.
No. I think that there's just as much racism as there's always been, and we're never going to be able to fix that because it's part of human nature, and that's that. Can I respond to your chatter that said something so retarded? Ted, last I checked, trans don't drink from separate fountains. They weren't slaves. No one said that, you retard. Just because I'm saying something is bigotry. Like, do you understand what bigotry means? I've heard some of the most stupid takes from people after going after Kumia, just flooded with them, and yeah. Sorry, I have less patience.
I'm gonna bring in Crumb in a sec, but
Nick. Hey, Nick.
What's up?
Nick is here, and then Crumb is coming in too.
That's what we need. He's
right.
Like,
so
he's like Ralph.
Let me finish. Let me just real quick, and then we'll get Crumb in, because 6 people is going to be a lot. So
I can bail it too.
I think part of the deal with what do you call it though, with Kumia, and part of the reason why I think he's accepted and whatnot, is because with Kumia, it feels like a gimmick. It feels like an act.
No, he's not.
And I think
he's not accepted. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He's not accepted. He's like rummaging through the sewers of society. Like, he can't even do a live performance without it getting canceled. I wouldn't say he's accepted. He's accepted by like his freak, like rabid, like bigoted followers.
Yeah, but also, I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I am saying is Kumia, it's about money, right? Like Kumia's figured out how to make money, and being that racist guy, the black guy, the sort of what's the word that I'm looking for? Tweeting out all that shit about black people all the time
You
and
don't think he
whatnot.
has it in his heart? Like if you look at like I started following him like this year. If you like look at his Twitter, it's like no, I don't think this is about money. Like he just really hates trans people and black people and Mexicans, and he's racist.
See, I don't know whether
He's
he.
a bigot. Like all he does is try to talk about black people are not as have lower IQ. Like that's bigotry. Like, and so why can't we just say that?
I mean,
Okay, I don't.
We can because we've been following Kumia for 20 years.
Yeah.
I block.
It ain't funny. It's not a joke. He's not making jokes. He's just like he's like Glenn Beck with like that chalkboard, just being like showing like brain scans of black people to be like, guys, no, seriously, black people are animals. Like it's not
right.
It doesn't have to be a joke to be true, though.
I think that
I'm saying it's not funny. I didn't say it's not true or true.
See, right. I think, but comedy or humor is in the eye of the beholder, right?
He's not making jokes.
But
we know when he's making racist jokes.
They're
funny.
All right. Okay.
But he's making money. That's what he's doing.
Right. He has, in my view, Kumia has established a character, right, that makes money, and that's what he's doing. Is he's leaning.
Revolting.
I'm not arguing that it's not revolting, but I am saying that I think there's a lot of him leaning into that. I don't think he believes a lot of the things that he says. Do I think he's racist? Yes. But I don't think he's leaning into a lot. I think a lot of the stuff he's doing, he leans into it and he makes it, he tries to give it more impact because that's what's going to make him the money.
Like he leans into arguments with his girlfriend right when he decides to beat them.
See, but that's what you're talking, right? And what you're doing is you're throwing in a red herring because it's got nothing to do with what we're talking about here.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Do you know his history with?
Who's talking right now?
Yeah, Crumb, what's going on with your lighting? I mean, between you and Nick, I'm about to get a gun. What is going on here?
Yeah, show your face because I know you're going to take a shot at me. And I'm going to talk about how you look too.
What is this? Anonymous is coming after me?
Turn your light on.
Do you know his history with Sue Lightning?
Yeah, but I don't care. I don't want. But that's not. Look, those are separate issues. I'm happy to discuss the Sue Lightning and the other thing, but let's stick with where we are so that we could maybe get somewhere in this conversation. Because otherwise, we're just going to go around in circles. It's going to be, he's a racist, he's a pedophile, he's this, he's that, and
I would agree with those things.
What I'm asking is, my question is the racism that he puts out on Twitter, right? All the picking out the black violence stuff. Is he doing that because that's what he really believes, or is he doing that because that's what makes him money?
Both.
Both.
Can I just say before, I don't want this because people just mutate what my initial argument was. I'm saying he's not funny anymore and he's a shitty broadcaster. And then on top of that, we got into these race things. I just want to make it clear that was my claim about him. So now that we're talking about it, I don't want it to be like, oh, that's what the original point was. Just saying.
And you know what's funny? I would agree with you 100%.
Okay.
What did he? What do you agree with?
I don't think he's funny anymore. He's a race baiter. It's all he really does now is just look at these monkeys at fucking Cracker Barrel. That's his shtick. That's what he does.
Right, but it has an audience that pays him, and then look at this.
That's not my argument.
No, that's not mine either.
But to Ava's point earlier, I mean, trans jokes, black jokes, white jokes, Mexican jokes, they're funny. Like, I mean, they are funny. When people make fun of me or whatever, white guys, I mean, some of the jokes are funny.
My point is that he doesn't have any, like, when I debated him, he didn't have any funny trans jokes. They were like grandpa trans jokes, and it took him, he only came up with 2 the whole time. But what he did do is just make hateful statements. And, like, if you look at his Twitter, he's not making jokes. He's just, like, these people are monsters and they're violent. Like, that's what I'm saying. We know when he's joking, and when he's joking and racist or transphobic in the jokes, I'm here for it. I was a huge Opie fan. I'm saying that there's something different happening where he's just peddling dark, weird, obsessive hate for like 12 hours a day, and I was calling him out about it.
But I mean, people have a hate for trans people, right?
Rochi, because we got to do this. Yes, that's true. I have a good point. But when have you ever been funny, dude? I think that's a slur.
Rochi's just mad because he's a fat slob that has to ignore his wife, and so he just spends time on YouTube.
All right, we're not going after the chatters here. Okay, I mean you can say what you want, but let's focus on I'm fascinated. This is what fascinates me. What fascinates me is I can look at Kumia, and I can look at Missy, and I can go, I think Missy's a major league anti-Semite, right? And
Yes!
I and I
Yes!
and I can think Kumia is a big racist guy, and I can find them not funny, and I have them muted on Twitter, and I don't really pay attention to them, but yet I have to say they have an audience, and Kumia sells out places, and people love them. So what is that like? What does that say about society? And the shows that do really well, not the Melton and maybe the Carl stuff, but shows that do well on in the Dabbleverse or on streaming are all like they're racist. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Okay.
And I don't get it. Like, and Panhandler, you're saying, oh, stuff is funny with Quad and those guys got mad at me because of supposedly defending Shuley, but I was annoyed that they when I came on and said, "Hey man, you're doing guilt by association, you're doing a lot of stuff," and they're like, "Oh no, they're jokes. They're fine." They're not jokes. It's not funny. They're really just trying to tear somebody down and use jokes as a cover for it. So, what do you say to that?
I agree, but I think that's what Kumia does too, just even less entertaining wise, and it's disappointing because Kumia was a funny motherfucker at one point, but he's like unlistenable at this point. Like that show I do with Eckel, we watch clips and we usually get like at least one Kumia clip a week, and more often than not, it's like literally the most boring fucking clip you've ever fucking seen. So he's not funny on his show anymore. I've literally heard him admit that he posts racist shit on purpose on X because that's what gets the engagement, that's what gets him the money. But I have to agree with Ava. He doesn't try to be funny with the racism anymore. It's just whatever hateful, stupid shit, And I don't know. That's like he's lost whatever he had. He's either gotten more racist with age or he's just a total fucking sellout. And it's like, all right, I'll post the most vile shit I can think of just because I'll get a few bucks for it.
Right, but if humor is in the eye, right, of the beholder, for lack of a better way to say it, you don't find it funny, right? You think it's sellout, you think it's all that stuff, but there are enough people that do think it's funny, and that it is humor. You're judging you. So what you're doing is, we can't objectively say it's not funny. You're giving us your opinion that it's not funny. Am I correct?
I don't think he's trying to make jokes anymore.
Shmuel, sorry, go ahead.
When I see the comments on Kumia's posts, it's not ha ha ha. It's like, yeah, fuck those monkeys. Look at these animals. They're not laughing because he's not making jokes.
You're missing the point. Like, all of us are able to tell when he's joking and when he's not, because a lot of us were just fans from him and have heard him for years. We're saying that the posts that we're talking about are not even intended to be jokes, and people aren't taking them as jokes. It's just like, fuck these monkeys, or like, fuck these savages. There's two different things, and that's when I went on TSN and confronted him about all that. He had shit to say about it. Like, he just ate shit like a little bitch because he knows that I was right. and he was too
I
scared to
gotta,
debate
I
it.
gotta be honest. I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about. Did you have an argument with Kumia?
Oh, we're not going through this again. Yeah, yes, we went through this in the first. Shmuel butchered this conversation earlier.
Who had?
And
Yeah, it
are
was-
you are you more fucked up than Dave? What's going on? Are you on half speed? Are you all right over there,
Yeah, like
Crumb?
No,
What? Jesus Christ! He's back on the Xannies, brother.
yeah, is he like getting out?
It's
He accidentally took himself out of the witness protection program too, so now he's fucked. Jesus.
Panhandler gets it. No,
Yeah,
seriously.
I
Ava,
got on. I got
you
on.
had an argument with. I saw. All right. I digress. I saw you had an argument with Kumia. What happened?
I called him out about everything we're talking about.
Did you
and
call
I
him an
feel like
old
I feel like I
fucking
got to
weirdo? Did you? If you did, dude, you're my new hero.
Did I call him what?
An old fucking weirdo.
Dude, I got some really good lines in there. If you haven't, you should watch it at some point.
Send me a link.
I was
on it.
anxious about it, but then me and John watched it on his show, and I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Here's our boy
send me a
Adam
link.
Bush. You can admire comedians' talent and still dislike their material. Overt racism is one of the last true hack moves left.
I mean, so he's going the Mark Maron route. Is that what he's saying? That I guess that Ava was saying a few weeks ago. Is that? I mean,
Mark Maron's right on that riff.
oh
Like,
my god! I just their words, man. I guess maybe because I don't have a soul anymore. It doesn't, or maybe it's my white privilege. I don't know what it is, but their words. Don't listen to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't engage. That unfortunately, that's the society we live in, where people have the hottest takes and anger and rage bait and everything else, and that's what it is. But the real world is not like that for the most part. If you go outside and engage with people and work or do whatever, just be a normal human being. The majority of this country is not like that.
but Maron's point is about comedy as an art.
Comedies, yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm
he's
actually-
making the
I'm-
point
I'm-
that they're not doing jokes anymore, and they're just doing
You can then we can go back to Carlin. I mean, he's got very political and obviously very, very funny. State the obvious, but I mean, there's always been a political kind of skew to comedy,
It's not about the politics
I'm
of it.
disagree
Yeah.
with
Making
you,
the point that they're
Panhandler.
not doing jokes. It's just like they just say, "Hey, there's a shitty." He's saying that comedy has been diluted, like the Joe Rogan sphere. It's just if you just say something racist or homophobic, then it gets laughs because comedy, and it's not about the art of like finding a funny angle or a funny take. That's his point. It's about the art form. It's not about whether someone uses politics.
But I don't think that's the
Comedy's
reason. I mean,
like,
comedy sucks right now, 100%, and has
That's
for the
the
last
point. He's
decade.
explaining
But
why.
it's not just because people are going after trans people. I mean, that's not the reason. People got fucking lazy. I mean, they just don't want to write
That's what we're
good
saying.
jokes
yeah.
anymore. But I mean,
that's
there's a lot of unfunny comics out there that don't talk about trans people. So this is my point. There's a lot of fucking hacky comics out there.
my new comedy.
But he was criticizing the Rogan sphere in that riff. He was like,
Is this
these
on?
guys are doing this thing and it's not funny.
Right, but this is not. But I mean, none of this is new, right? I mean,
He's saying it's
wearing blackface used to be, or imitating a black guy for years was thought of as funny, right? And then
Or
it
sexual.
went away, and now it's back. And vaudeville comedians you'd make a sex joke, and that would be hilarious
Wait,
to people.
Blackface is black. We're back.
There's that black comic that's doing the whiteface. I don't know what his name is, who's getting some run or whatever. And there's no outrage over that. And I'm not outraged by it.
Oh, you're talking about
Do you
Drewski.
think that's
Drewski's-
analogous when you think about the historical
weird.
context of what blackface was in early times? And
Yeah,
how-
because
No,
we wouldn't
I
let-
don't.
We
Do you
wouldn't let
understand
black
the
people get on
historical context
stage.
of that? Do you understand the historical context? Do you understand why that blackface is
Yes.
offensive? Not you, Panhandler.
Do I understand why it's offensive? Yeah, it's
No,
400.
but you-
but I'm not going to be mad about
that's
something
real.
400 years ago. Like I held on to a grudge, but I can't.
But it's not 400 years ago.
I
It's
can't-
60 years
yeah,
ago.
I can't.
How do you compare those two things? It's so weird that you would.
I mean,
Can we
so
get
it's okay. See, because it sides with your beliefs, you're giving this
No, it's
black
not about
guy
the
a
beliefs, it's about
pass.
the
You guys
historical
dominate-
but when
you guys
Ted
dominate
Danson did it-
conversations.
No,
I don't
it's
know
about
if
the
my
historical
mic is
context.
not
Crumb, let him
on.
finish. Go ahead.
It's not about sides. There's a historical context of blackface that's what people are responding to. There's no historical context with whiteface because black people didn't enslave white people in the U.S. and do minstrel shows in comedy. People are referencing something that happened. earlier last century.
First of all, can't everything just be a joke? Can't we just say blackface and we just laugh about?
I think blackface is funny. It's just odd that he doesn't get why he doesn't
gets
understand
it.
that.
The Aussie guy asks a great question, right? So when is an unfunny joke bad intentions? Where is the line drawn? And that's something that we
Children
come across all the time.
I'm talking about like Anthony's tweets, and if you look at them, I'm saying there's
I
certain
think
jokes.
dead children jokes are the worst jokes in my opinion. That's my fucking like no-go barrier.
Right. But is that because you have kids?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, just kids. They're fucking innocents. That's innocent.
I'm actually probably rare for a liberal, but whatever. One of my favorite jokes is, and I have kids, is about a fucking little boy getting molested in the woods because it's a funny fucking joke. But it's like you have to try and tell a joke. The point Ava, I think, was trying to make, and I was trying to make, is they're not trying. Hey, that chick's got a dick. That's not a joke. Like anyone can say that. It's fucking stupid. They're not trying to craft actual jokes.
Like the joke dicks. Anthony made when I was debating, like
that
it was
is
like
joke.
It's like, hey, huh?
Chicks
well, that's not funny. You have to try like Dave Chappelle actually, because he tries. So he actually had a good trans joke to open one of his most recent specials. Like you didn't even know it was a trans joke until he got to the punchline. Because it was well
it took
written.
3 hours and you were bored and you forgot what he was talking about.
But but the thing is too is look, you can't compare Dave Chappelle to Joe Rogan. I mean, it's
You're just saying that people know when someone's making a joke, but if you just are saying like things that are negative about someone for being trans or black or whatever, and there's no joke. And then people are like, haha, because they're just like, oh, that is true. Like you're not you're a man.
All right,
that's
so
not a joke. That's just
all right. I'm with you. Let me. I want to read. Hold on. I want to read this Adam Bush.
And I'm not hurt by it. I'm just saying he's not He used to be funny and being funny and writing jokes in the way that Anthony.
Do you guys go to a lot of comedy?
That show? Shut up. In that show was like a talent.
Why can you say shut up?
He never wrote, but he never wrote. He never wrote jokes. But he's always been spontaneous. Anthony never worked on anything. He's one of those guys like it. But Adam Bush's point. This is at the Ozzy guy. Everyone gets to decide individually and choose what they enjoy. Yeah. Do we agree with that or disagree with that?
Yeah, no, I'm not making the argument that like edgy or racist humor is bad in any way. I'm saying that these people are not making jokes. I'm talking about just when they just make insults and there's no punchline and dumb, racist, bigoted people laugh just because they're insulting someone.
And racist to
Can you shut up and let me finish my point and then respond to it?
No, because you interrupted me, so I have to interrupt.
Go ahead and make your point.
But what offends you doesn't offend others. What offends me?
Well, I don't think she's offended.
I'm not saying I'm offended. Yeah. Are you retarded? Let me make this very clear. I'm not saying I'm offended by edgy comedy or racist comedy. I'm making a distinction and saying that there's something happening where these people are not making jokes. They're just insulting people because of whatever group they're in, and people laugh now. And I'm just saying that's hacky, and it's not comedy.
That's your perception.
Oh my God, that was such an amazing thought you just expressed right there.
I mean, the same people that laugh at those hacky trans jokes or whatever jokes, they get pissed off if you make fun of the president of the United States.
I can guarantee you
can't even
no
joke
trans
about the
joke
most
that
powerful.
Why shut the fuck up and stop interrupting him, Crumb?
I was okay. Sorry.
I feel bad, Crumb, but I actually don't interrupt people. Sorry, but yeah, you're supposed to. Sorry, in theory, usually the jokes are you go up, you don't punch down, but literally. There's a large group of people that get pissed off if you make a joke about the most powerful man in the world. You're woke. But if you go, that chick has a dick, they'll laugh their fucking asses off when that's not a fucking joke. It's been so dumbed down that just so like you say anything fucking racist or sexist or transphobic, like I said, they'll laugh. There doesn't have to be any setup, any punchline, any callback, nothing.
You know? Yeah.
Okay,
That's
can
big.
I
That's
talk
what
now?
bigotry is.
Oh yeah, all right. You're
All
gonna.
right, let Crumb talk. Go ahead, Crumb.
So I've never been to any comedy show where they're talking about anyone's fucking dicks. First of all, so I don't know where you guys are going. So maybe you're choosing the comedy that's geared toward what your philosophy is. I don't know.
No,
I
retard.
I
Just
go to
go watch
comedy
it. Go.
shows with Shane Gillis and fucking people that are funny. Sorry.
Nick, I don't know how to deal with that.
No, I mean, look, Nick, when I hear you say stuff, right, and sometimes I feel like you're making these like over generalizations of things. Yeah, people get pissed off when you make Trump jokes, but when you make Biden jokes, people would get equally pissed off,
Not me.
right? If you said Biden was slow or was
I did.
like, right, people would lose their fucking minds. So it's not like this is not, and that's my point, is this is not a new thing. This isn't like all of a sudden people pick sides. They've had sides forever. And I think what Adam's trying to say is if you don't find it funny, you don't listen to it. Right? Like if you don't find Kumia funny,
Adam was responding to Aussie guy with that.
right? But if you don't
responding to Nick's
find,
point.
right, because the Aussie guy asked the question is where do you draw the line?
For
Right?
for me, I just feel like they're looking too deep into a fucking dick joke. You know, it's like, oh,
No,
it's a dick
okay,
joke.
I give up. I'm just saying
I know
it's
these
not
people
a
are
joke.
retarded. I don't
Not
know.
a fucking joke to say that chick has a dick. That's not a fucking joke. It's fucking what? That chick
What
has a
is
dick.
it?
It's 5 fucking words that
It's a
anyone can
statement.
fucking
It's
say.
an
You know,
insulting.
It's not a
It's just
joke.
an insult.
I wasn't
Do you not
even
understand
talking
that that's
about
not what
the
a
chick
joke?
with the dick.
Okay,
That's
if I
just
said
your
Donald
bias
Trump has a
going
long
toward
tie.
it.
That's not a fucking joke. It's a fucking. I don't. And the Biden shit. Sure, there were
Donald
political
Trump has a
pundits-
dick? Is that what you're
there-
saying?
I said a tie. The political pundits on the other Dems, sure, they got all pissy. They got pissy at people like me when I said Biden was a drooling fucking vegetable.
Oh,
Fucking,
somebody's saying that Crumb's on the spectrum now. I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. That actually explains all of this.
John thought I was a fucking Trumper because I would say shit about Biden, but I can't. I've never seen any footage of a comedy club where someone made a Biden joke and people got mad. I've seen it plenty times when they make Trump jokes and someone throws a fucking glass at them.
But you go to places where they make Trump jokes. This is
So,
what I'm confused.
so you did not see the video from what, a year ago at Uncle Vinny's where the girl made a Trump joke and somebody threw a can of beer at her?
I just said that.
Oh my god, this is just.
Did I not just say that?
What is happening? What is happening?
No, I'm sorry. She made she made a, it was a Biden joke and the
No.
beer can got tossed at her.
That was a Trump joke. She picked it up and drank it after. If we're talking about the same one, it was a Trump. Actually, I don't even think it was a Trump joke. The lady goes, "I can tell you voted for Biden." She's like, "I'm
See-
not even talking politics," and then they threw a beer at her.
All right. The context is everything. That chick has a
I'm
dick.
s-
May not be funny by itself, but it can be in the right context.
Correct, but they just say a chick has a dick.
Let's explore this. If I'm debating someone and then they say you're just mad because you're not a guy or you're not a woman, is that a joke?
Say that again. You
If I'm
lost me.
debating someone and they just say you're mad because you're not a woman or you weren't born a woman or you think
But
that
it's a
you're
debate.
woman.
It's a debate. It's not a.
Okay, let's say
it's not a
debate.
It's not a comedy show.
Okay,
right?
well, what if someone just points that out about someone in a comedy show?
I don't
What,
go
that they
to
have a
those
dick?
type of things. If that is the discussion.
They're saying that they're being the comedians in the Joe Rogan sphere are basically being lazy by just pointing out the obvious. It's very low level to get laughs from their supporters. Like they do have a point that there's no creativity behind saying a trans woman has a cock, right?
It's like when a comedian goes to.
I think that's what they're saying. But I feel like we're
No, it's like when a comedian goes on
If
stage and then
trans or fucking
shut up. It's like when a comedian.
non-binary
Shut up!
or
Shut up!
anything's
Shut
on
up!
the
Shut up! Shut up! Shut
billboard,
up!
I'm not
Shut up!
going.
You're useless. Shut
Okay.
up. It's like when a
But you
comedian goes on.
understand that's your only argument to me whenever I say anything. Is you
You're
say
just
shut
the-
up and I'm
you are
useless.
like there's
so
something.
you're shutting me down. You're not hearing my voice.
She's canceling you, Crumb.
I'm canceling you. I'm canceling you.
Hey, here's a good
Like,
one.
you're a
Ava,
fucking
I
loser.
don't get it. It's like
What- Ava,
like
why
how's-
didn't you do your homework before the Kumia debate? He's okay with Norton having Nikki Norton, who has a dick, but he hates
Yeah.
trans.
I did my homework before the debate that was supposed to happen.
She did a dry run. She did a dry run on this show. I'm pretty sure she did.
When I went on TSN,
Earlier.
I didn't say I want to have a
Very
debate with Kumia. I said,
dismissive.
"Shut up! Can you please get rid of this guy? It's just like mumbling in the background."
Crump,
And there's another guy named Mumbling Nick.
I gotta take you off, buddy.
You suck.
It's
You're
just
a
not working.
loser. You're a
I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later,
fat
man.
loser.
I like the sexual tension between you two.
It's really no. It's really like there's just like this gross like snake just like slithering in.
You guys are gonna bang. Just saying.
I don't. It's not. It just feels like he
sucks.
it doesn't. No, I just it feels like something else in it. And I just don't want to deal
let's
with
be
it right
straight.
now.
He's too fucked up. He's just too fucked up.
Yeah, he's like really fucked up on like downers, but then he's also trying to troll, but he can't, and so it's just this background noise and he doesn't. Yeah, it's just. I feel like we're having a substantial conversation. And
yeah, Crumb, you got to be a sober downer like me. It's got to be all natural rage and misery.
You're not a downer.
Trust me. Stick around.
Panhandler's not a downer. Are you kidding me?
Panhandler, no.
I like the guy, but he's about as negative as it gets.
Thank you.
But this is what I don't get. Is like, why are we so concerned about? Like, why are you so concerned about Kumia? Like, if you don't like him, and if he's not what your cup of tea, why don't you just ignore him?
Well, if TSN doesn't like John and Carl doesn't like John and the Doubleverse doesn't like John, why do they talk about him?
Kumia doesn't like black people.
No, don't interrupt that
Why
moment.
does he stop posting about him?
Nick, don't interrupt that moment. I want Schmuel to respond to that.
I didn't even hear your question. I'm sorry.
What was it? Say your question again, and then let me respond to it.
My deal is, if you don't find Kumia interesting, funny, talented, you think he's lost it, all of the above, why do you care? Like, why are you paying attention to it? Why are you getting involved in it? Why are you just not ignoring him?
If Schmuel and Carl feel that John is not talented and he's a loser and he's not funny and they don't like anything he does, why did they pay attention to him?
Say that again?
Oh no, we're not.
Come on, man.
She's got a valid point. She's saying, why if they don't that TSN WATP they pay attention to John and they don't like him. Like I think she does have a good point.
We're in a
because
classroom. We all just like call people out that suck for different things.
Because John is funny, right? Like,
is that what Schmuel's saying when he
laughing at John? It's hilarious. Well, because John keeps stepping on rakes. I don't know that Kumia is doing the same thing.
I would argue, like, to me, like, it's funnier to infiltrate TSN because they're such control freaks and just burst in there and then just attack Kumia, who never lets anyone confront him about anything he says. And I would argue that, to me, like, that appearance, people get into like the political aspect of it, but to me, it's just funny watching all of them deal with being infiltrated like that. That's funny to me.
Okay, but to me, it's like, I don't know. It's like the guy that crashes the party. It's or like the troll thing. I don't get it.
Why don't you watch the appearance before you analyze it?
I'm not even talking about the appearance. I'm talking.
Are you new here? That's not.
I'm talking about.
We were like into Schmuel's interpretation of just like what he kind of heard.
But Ava, you do have. I mean, you've been on a toot, and I get it. I mean, you're going after Kumia, and it is personal, right? So I mean, you've made your point pretty clear. I don't know how Schmuel has not figured this out. Even I figured it out, and I'm a big dumb animal.
You get every point I'm making, whether or not we agree or not, and that makes me feel sane in this conversation because you've like chimed in to just remind me.
I'm just staring at your rack off. I'm not paying attention to a word you say. I treat you just like a woman. I'm not listening to a word you say.
I can tell.
See, I'm getting woke. Look at
There
me.
we go.
Look at that growth.
The rack. Oh, Schmuel doesn't know how to run a show. Get Crumb back on, who is babbling over everyone.
Here's
Yeah,
more.
the
He's
thing
a
about
mess.
running a show is, look, I'm never gonna win, so I don't. It's okay. I'm good with that. But no, this is what, like, you're talking about Marin, you're talking about these. It's like we're analyzing comedians, right? Like a guy like Kumia, he's got no power, right? He's just a guy. Like, I don't understand like why do we care? I can't get that. Like, I just don't watch it. I don't understand why everybody else has that opportunity too. So why are we watching it? Why do we care about it?
Jesus,
Sorry.
somebody get Crumb back on. He
Yeah,
was making more. He was making more sense. I don't know what that
weird,
was.
Shmuel.
I
This
got
is
I
a
know.
lost.
weird take. It's a weird take.
Schmuel, you're like a bad acid trip.
I don't know
For the-
what he just asked.
For like the first time in chat history, everybody's in agreement. Somebody do your plugs, Shmuel. Do your plugs.
This is the last person I want to bring up, but that was Jake Hudson S. That thing took so many
This is,
twists and
look,
turns.
Teddy, who I've disagreed with all night, has the best line of the night. Kumi is not a comedian, like you're not a pilot of a plane, Schmuel, and that's about right. Sorry, I'm a little bit lost because there was stuff going on in my background here, and I apologize. But I think you arguing with Kumia is funny. I think it's cool, but I can't. Why? I don't see getting so upset about him now.
Shmuel, can I tell you what I think is going on here? I think that you have created a genre of show within the Dabbleverse, and I think that you kind of have honed in on what it is that you want to do. So, in my assessment, I think that you feel like what you should do is be the devil's advocate for things that are happening, and then ask these devil's advocate questions. My critique of the way you do that is that sometimes you just miss the mark completely, and then it's confounding to the person that you're playing devil's advocate.
But I find this stuff. I find the things that you're saying confounding, because it's like it just.
I don't even think you know what I've said at this point based on the questions you're asking, because you're taking us into a whole weird area. What's the whole
weird area I'm taking you into?
You're saying, you just basically asked, if you don't like something, then why watch it? If you really like dissect that question and then zoom out to this ecosystem that we're all existing in right now online, it would negate our whole existence. Like, none of us would be here if you take your question to its logical conclusion. And I don't think you get that, and that's what's so fascinating about you asking that.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't know why. What's so fun? Why do you find my disagreeing with you funny, hilarious?
I think that you could. I was trying to avoid just going for the easy hypocrisy angle to this, but you could just take a variety of your previous broadcasts where you're doing the thing that you're challenging me on right now. Like, we all do that here. Like, we talk about people that we don't like, and then we hate watch, and sometimes we comment, and we make observations about it. If you took your question into light, you wouldn't have done so many shows that I've watched you do. And I don't understand how you don't get that.
Just to add to that, I got invited onto a show this Saturday that I don't normally go on to specifically comment on the Ava versus Kumia thing, because that's what everyone's talking about. And I have I have a relationship with Ava, and I have an opinion on the whole thing. So everyone's talking about it. So obvious, it's keeping this whole universe we're in going by doing shit like this. And I don't want to speak for Ava, but if she's similar to me, I get frustrated with people like Kumia, like fucking Chrissy Mayer, and I would I try to get Chrissy pissed off, and she doesn't pay attention to me, but I try and fucking go after them because the shit they do just drives me fucking nuts because of the shit I'm into. So I want to talk to them. I think what Ava did was actually fucking gutsy as shit to go on Shuli's show, where she knows the whole chat and everyone on the fucking panel is going to be against her when she goes against their god Kumia, and she did it. So I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was like the whole show against me. I feel like I destroyed, and I made Shuli look like an ass too. The thing that frustrates me is that I take a lot of like. It would be very easy for me to just be mad because here we have a guy with a huge platform, or like a platform online that overlaps with a world that I'm in, that is attacking my gender identity and my race every day. And I actually took a lot of care to, when I called him out, not have it be a personal thing and just make a broader critique where he was making a set of attacks on John, and I just came back and threw it right back at him and backed it up like with everything I said to him, which is actually takes discipline, and it's annoying, and I get frustrated because people just don't even recognize that. They're like, oh, this is because you're trans and it's about politics, whatever. But if you like listen to what I did, I just threw his attack on John back at him and backed it up, and that takes discipline. And yeah, and so when you ask a question like that, it's just kind of like, what? I don't know. There's a lot of thought going into these things, but you're asking.
But he did.
questions
But
that,
I felt Kumia did get. I'm sorry. I did feel that he got you a little bit where he was asking for specific examples, and you either chose not to or you froze up. And I would have probably froze up too.
I
where
didn't
he
freeze
said,
up.
Okay.
No, that's a debate. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm not accusing. I'm giving you as a viewer what I saw, where he allowed you to have, like you said, hey, give me a specific example where I'm a hack, and you chose not to, or you just didn't do it. So I mean,
I'm glad you asked that right there after what I just said, because it ties exactly into this. He asked, but I came in and made a set of claims. I said that he's like a pedo. I said that he's not funny anymore, and that he only gets traction or clips whenever he talks about Opie or John. I made a set of, and I said, as a WABC broadcaster, I don't get why everyone looks at it like some kind of redemption arc where he's back on the radio, because his political show is hacky and the same thing as Glenn Beck and Bill O'Reilly. He chose to take all of that and lock into the critique about WABC. And it's like, well, name one original political take. And if I would have given him one example, then that would have broken all of the things I was just saying. And it would have been, now we're debating a political issue on TSN, where I was making a broader claim and throwing it back at him. If I would have responded with any example, he would have just nitpicked it and written it off. And then it would have just been like, oh, well, you had an example, but it was just bad. And they would have thrown me off. I knew that I was in a hostile environment where Shuli was gonna try to throw me off as soon as possible, and I knew not to just go down that rabbit hole, because I've watched people in debates do that all the time.
All right, so what did you said what you said he was a pedo, you said what else?
I said all kinds of things.
Right, no, how was he supposed to answer that? What was he supposed to, what would you have wanted him to do?
I was challenging him and seeing what he had said. I was curious what he thought about that, because he never is in a situation where anyone calls him out.
Well,
watch the clip.
He's been called, but
he's been Doom clip.
He's been called out. He's been called out quite on the taking the girl and the silver thing, pegging him and whatnot. Right.
When's the last time you've seen him on camera just being called out about that?
Quite a while, because when it never went anywhere.
But he was also totally canceled. Like, he lost, right? I mean, he did lose that big gig at Sirius when Sirius was probably at, close to maybe a few years after its peak. I mean, so I get reason why you know what I'm saying? Like, he did lose. Like, you kind of got what you wanted 10, 11 years ago, whenever it was that he when he lost that huge gig.
When he got fired, I was against that I was against him getting fired.
I'm not saying you're pro or against. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, but he did. As far as people going after him, I would say that's pretty much a pretty good way to go after somebody, take away their source of income. That was pretty large.
I think this is what's getting lost in this, is that this is in the context of them analyzing Stuttering John. They're saying that he doesn't have any, and they're like making fun of him talking about politics, and they're making fun of him for being a has-been and glory dazing it. And my point was not about, like, it wouldn't have been relevant 11 years ago. My point is about him right now. I'm saying
But you should need to say
right
the same
now
thing
he
with
doesn't
John.
have it anymore.
John
And
has the hackiest Democratic talking points. I mean, it might as well just be
just-
MSNBNC's call sheet. I mean, his are so fucking weak. I know the left better than he does, and I don't even barely pay attention.
Exactly. So my quote was, and I think it's rich that Anthony is criticizing John on his political takes and all that, et cetera, and then said, because you have hacky, unoriginal talking points from the Republican Party. That was my counter. I was just saying, throwing back his attack on John and saying, you're not any better, buddy.
And the way he responded to the Ava's Heritage Foundation claim,
That was later too, and he
Yeah,
ate
that
shit on that.
that was, to me, like, I don't know if that gets not missed, but that's kind of like her saying, this is why, example of you being a hack. Everything you
Thank you for
fucking say,
noticing that. Thank you
everything
for
you say, you get from the fucking Heritage Foundation. And his reaction pretty much backed that up. So
Exactly. And none of these fucking like ball washers even understand that, because they're just like, oh, trans person is bad because saying things like, no, I like burned him on it, and when I called him out about the heritage thing,
but the amount of people that know the Heritage Foundation in this world is very small. If we're going to talk about Cato and think tanks and everything else, I don't think there's a lot of people that's not a big discussion. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily think it was the GOT that you think it is. The number of fucking Schmuel viewers that are aware of the Heritage Foundation, what they do, and how they've changed over the last, say, 15 years is very minute, right? I mean, that's not...
like, you should see, somebody, like, just on Dabblers Anonymous was like, oh, I was bringing up the Heritage Foundation, like, the 2000s called, that's a hack take. Like, there's people that are, like, not only know about Heritage Foundation, but they're saying that I was being outdated for bringing that up. Like, they're on that level, so I think you're not giving them enough credit. But it doesn't matter.
But at least he's getting something from... Look, you may disagree with the Heritage Foundation, right?
That's what John does.
He's getting something... No, that's not what John does. He's getting something from somewhere. Kumia is pretty in-depth with this stuff, even though I disagree with him. John basically reads the headline, and then he doesn't read the story. So he doesn't have any of the information.
Then one sentence talking point.
And he can't... I've watched him with Karam and Ojeda. He'll bring something up as if it's a giant own, and then they'll have to tell him that, John, you misunderstood that. John, you had it's the wrong court case. No, John, that's not what happened.
Can we just play the Doom clip? Like, I would have never asked it at this point. Like,
but I think
we're just talking about something we know, and you guys haven't seen it.
I watched it.
Right, but look, we can put it up. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't know. But I don't know what the value is in it.
We're sitting here analyzing it.
Well, no, we're not analyzing that clip. We're analyzing what you think about Kumia versus Stuttering John, right?
And to Schmuel's point, Ava, at least Anthony, I mean, we can not disagree with his takes or not like his personality or whatever the case may be, but he is a professional broadcaster. Like, he could talk for 30 minutes on his beliefs, why he believes it, and provide his examples or his evidence. John couldn't do that if you spotted him, 29 minutes and a 5-page cheat sheet. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't think it's yes, maybe you feel his takes are hacky or you don't like his sources, but he's so much more educated on something. Like, he's so much more prepared than John could ever dream to be. And his delivery is a million times better. Like, so it is weird. You're comparing the hackness or levels of hacks. I mean,
he has just talking point printouts that he reads. And,
no, I disagree.
And he's criticizing.
I disagree. I think I mean, yes, I'm sure he has talking points, but he does
not stray from the Republican talking points in the same way he says John.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but he's well more versed in his side's talking points than John could ever dream. If you're just saying that
he's a more articulate broadcaster, then that's fair.
Yeah. 100%.
No, it's not that he's got more. He can tell you why he believes what he believes, as opposed to John, who just believes it because that's what the right person told him to think. And John doesn't know why. John has no idea why he believes what he believes. And I think Kumia actually knows why he believes what he believes politically.
I made the point that he makes these statements and never has anyone on that disagrees with him that challenges him on these political statements. And he responded to that by saying, okay, then I will have you on the show on Thursday. And he pussied out. I don't think that he would stand up to someone like me in a debate where he's not reading talking points from fucking Heritage Foundation.
See, I don't think. All right. Just having seen him and known him for all this time, right? I think he's pretty in depth. I think he knows. I think he knows what he's talking about. I don't think he just
Have you seen him do a political debate?
throws out numbers. No, but I'm not.
Okay.
But and
Oh, okay.
I
yeah, he can read good. Okay.
I agreed
I
with.
agree. He can read good.
I agree with you that it's a pussy move to back out of the debate. I 100%. Sorry for the garbage truck. I 100% agree with you that it's a pussy move. What I'm disagreeing with you on is comparing him and his political takes to Stuttering John and his political takes.
The core
John is an idiot.
The core ideas of his takes are no different than his critique of John's. They're just what that party says. You can say that, yes, he reads more. He has papers that he prints out and has a job doing propaganda for the Republican Party and reads them, and John doesn't. That's fair. But if you're talking about the actual ideas that are being espoused,
but what do you mean? But you're saying propaganda.
Let me finish. He made the assessment that John just spouts has no original. That John just spouts Democratic Party takes. I'm making the claim that he does that for the Republican Party. If you want to branch out into that and about the way that they do that, that's fine. But the ideas are the exact same. If like Anthony has no original political takes, and he doesn't have the courage to challenge his own party on God knows things like Epstein and all the disasters that Trump has just about faced on this year. He's a political hack.
See, I've seen, and I can't think of a specific example, but I've seen Anthony disagree with Republicans and the Republican Party on some stuff.
Name an example.
If I could, I would. I know that he definitely disagreed. I know that he talked honestly about Trump being an idiot during the first term.
Yeah, but he's changed. That's my point. He used to be like that about Trump. Now he just carries water for Trump. There's a difference about the way he analyzes politics, and I was calling him out about that. Have you heard his WABC show?
Not really.
Okay, then don't argue with me about it.
I'm talking
about his WABC show.
Right, but and what I'm saying about his WABC show is he's there. That's what he's paid for. He's paid to do that. He's not paid to debate.
Okay, so now we're arguing about whether I'm saying that he doesn't have a job doing that. What's your argument?
My point is that Stuttering John is Stuttering John, right? And this is the way Stuttering John. This is the way Stuttering John thinks. What Anthony does on ABC is what he's paid. He's a character. He's paid to do what he's doing. He's not paid to give.
Buckman, if you watch my argument with Kumia, one of the things I say is, and you're a guy who it's your job to like analyze politics every day, and you're still a hack. Like, that's part of my critique. Yeah, it's his job, and it's not what. And I'm just saying that he's just a drive-by propaganda machine for the Republican Party, just like Rush Limbaugh was, just like Bill O'Reilly,
or like, Lawrence O'Donnell is, or Rachel Maddow is.
100%.
This isn't a political point. Why is your brain so stupid right now, Schmuel?
But you're the one that's saying it's a political point.
No, I'm not saying one.
You just said he's spouting. All he does is spout Republican talking points.
We're not talking about what side of the aisle is on. I'm saying he is a hack for a political party in response to his critique that John is. Like, separate whatever. You can use it interchangeably.
But I think you missed.
You don't need to remind me that Lawrence O'Donnell is a hack. I'm saying that he is just in juxtaposition with him being an amazing comedic broadcaster and Opie Anthony, his arc back into radio is just him being a political hack. It doesn't matter what side of it is on. Jesus.
Yeah, but you can Jesus all you want, but that's what people, that's what they're paid for. I mean, I don't. Why
Okay,
would you
so-
be
so now we're
surprised
back-
at that?
So now we're back into the concept of: are there people that will pay someone to be a radio broadcaster? Do you think that that's what my point was? Like, why do you have to say something just to say something? That's nothing. Whether or not he's being paid to do a job, it was not the point. Like, what does that have to do with anything I just said?
Schmuel, basically,
you guys are talking past each other. You guys are talking
basically,
past each other.
Kumia is just like the mainstream media that he despises, that he shits on. If you're saying he has to say what he's saying because he has that gig,
Thank you for that too.
and-
I
and
didn't
you're
even
like,
bother with that.
well,
Go ahead.
so doesn't Rachel Maddow. So he's Rachel Maddow.
I agree.
Kumia
I
is
agree
Rachel
with you, but I'm not
Okay,
disagreeing
then
with
he's
that.
a hack because he shits on those people and he's just like them. He's shitting
Thank
on the
you.
people that John gets his material from. John gets all his information from like Rachel Maddow and those fucking people.
But John doesn't watch more than 3 minutes of anyone.
Right.
John
That's
can't
my
explain
point.
to you
Right.
why he believes what he believes, other than that Rachel Maddow said it.
I'm not
Right?
here to- I'm
And
not here to say
Kumia,
John's good.
go ahead.
No, if John sucks, like obviously it's a tiny show, but the whole reason I started that political show is because John's political show in the Devilverse drove me fucking crazy. It's fucking terrible. It's the same. It's three guys giving the exact same opinion that you can go read on fucking MSNBC.com or whatever. But it's garbage. No one's like defending John. It's just Kumia.
But Nick, your political show, right, drives me crazy. And I think many of your opinions are hack opinions, but it doesn't change how I feel about
But is
you.
my opinion the only opinion on the show? No, there's more. And
Well, you got Cryptid on, who's also.
all right, this
I'm
isn't
Who's
about-
sorry.
equivalent of a lamp?
Yeah, this isn't about my show. The point was, do
Thank
I stray from the Democrat Party talking points all the time? Like more like all the time. Kumia doesn't stray from whatever the fuck MAGA's pushing at the fucking moment. Or the Republican Party's pushing.
But Gavin does. Like, Gavin has original thoughts. Like, that this isn't about what side me and Nick are on. Like, Gavin is the co-owns Compound, and I'm saying I have no critique about the way Gavin analyzes politics. I'm saying Kumia is a hack.
Are you asking me about Nick? NJ?
No, I think he's asking about Ava, which she covered, saying that he's just following the right's talking points, or
Right.
Heritage, or Cato, or whatever think tank that I think they're focused more on Heritage.
I guess what I'm sitting here, Ava,
Not
is I'm
Heritage,
thinking
Cato. Sorry, you said Cato. Sorry.
you don't agree with Kumia's takes, so that's why they're hack.
Oh,
That's
No, that's not what I'm. Are you retarded?
but it's what no, don't call me retarded, and don't start with that. That's what because it certainly sounds like that's what you're saying.
I made an analogy. He made a critique about the range of John's political takes and attributed them to just being like political democratic takes and not complex. He's just like a talking machine, a talking point machine. I turned that back around on him and said that his political analysis on his show is just the exact same thing. That's it. You don't need to complicate it any more than that. So analyze what I just said and respond to that.
I can't. Well, one, I haven't seen I haven't seen the ABC. Whatever the hell it's called. I don't listen to his radio show, but I have seen him talk to people, and
Why
I've
do you
seen him.
insist on talking about things that you haven't seen or heard? Like,
I'm not. I'm talking about things that I have seen or heard, and I have seen Kumia get into debates and arguments with people, and I may not agree with him, but he's not doing it from a place of misinformation. If Kumia has to get into something, if he has to get into something, he seems to have some depth of knowledge. And that's the point, I think, is what he's saying. When I think of John as a hack, I don't think of Kumia as a hack. I disagree with him. But I think of John as a hack because I don't think John has any depth of knowledge. But I also don't believe that John has any belief in any of the things that he says.
I don't think Kumia has a belief in anything. I think he's a complete nihilist. I think the only beliefs he has are hatred towards like minorities and Muslims. And
define for me what you mean by nihilist.
Anthony, like, there's an interesting exchange that Gavin and Anthony had on their show. day before yesterday, Gavin had just come back from England to like analyze the protests about the Muslim immigration issue, and and Anthony's frame of that whole question was based on just this complete doom and gloom, and Gavin's analysis of it was like, because it's a smaller country, like we're going to be able to fix this, and then Anthony was like thrown aback by that. And to me, that's like the dissection of it. It's like Gavin was engaging in a political issue in the sense that things can be fixed, and for Anthony, like that political issue was just like, well, this is all bad, the Muslims are ruining everything, and he was surprised that Gavin analyzed it that way. If you follow anything that matters, Anthony has given up on society on a certain level, and that's why he's checked out and plays video games all day, and he's not married. He just wants to get drunk and all that, and then just hate on races, on whoever, and blow shit up. Like, he's just checked out from.
But isn't that just isn't that the other side of the coin with Gavin saying we're going to fix it? What is it he's fixing?
You asked me about nihilism, and I used that as an illustration to explain it.
So you're saying Avi, you do the thing. I don't know whether it's nervous laughter or whatever, but when you want to be dismissive, you start chuckling, right? And then what happens is we never get to a point. So what you're saying about a nihilist is all Anthony cares about is all Anthony cares about is Anthony. Is that what you're trying to say? Is it?
Nihilism
we
is,
cannot.
no, that's not what nihilism is. It's more kind of my view. There's kind of what's the purpose, and if you do have a view on, you don't really commit it to one way or the other, and you don't really think things are going to get better or things can get fixed. And if anything, I think the classic definition of nihilism is you're more on, you want it, you almost like my political view as a collapsitarian, you almost want it to fail. You don't want it, so you're very pessimistic when people say, like Gavin was saying, UK isn't as bad as the media makes it sound with whatever's going on with the Muslims over there, and Anthony's like, no, like it's lost. How I feel. I mean, I agree with Anthony, but that's what I think she's saying.
But Gavin was mainly actually making more of a point about how, because it's such a smaller country, he was seeing how that can be changed and fixed.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Anthony it never occurred to him that anything could be fixed in that moment, and like I thought it was like a beautiful dichotomy about both of them. Like, I don't know. That to me was an illustration, but maybe
no. It's a very good point about the smaller country. I think it's much more difficult in the United States. We're just too big and too spread out.
But it never occurred to Anthony that there could be a solution, and he was thrown aback by Gavin looking at it that way. Like Gavin wants to change things, and they have the same politics, but when Gavin assesses them, it's like he wants things to be better in the way that he assesses them. And Anthony just is doom and gloom and checked out. And to me,
but doom and gloom is, look, my understanding of nihilism is you just don't really believe in anything, right? Life is meaningless.
Right, exactly. But you do tend to want to watch it collapse a little too. I mean, it does lean to the definitely more pessimistic and more destructive side. That's my interpretation.
Yeah, and I would add, to me, I'm very interested in nihilism right now, because I think that leads to a lot of the violence that's happening. But it's also when you look at the way that Anthony handled the Jimmy Kimmel situation. Anthony was fired, I would argue unfairly, by Sirius, and then people like Howard didn't have his back on free speech grounds, and someone that's principled on things like free speech or any of these things, they would always defend whoever in that situation. When you're just a nihilist and it's all just fuck it, they did this thing wrong, then you handle it like Kumia did, and you're not defending Kimmel. You're just being well. And Kumia did a clip today where it's just talking about how no one had his back during Sirius, and it's just okay, so that level of political analysis to me is I'm juxtaposing that with nihilism, and I think you see that in his politics, and I think that's what leads to danger and marginalizing groups and violence.
NJRanger, Nick, just know I love you, bro.
What did I do?
Everybody loves Nick.
See,
Nick is
I have to wonder, So if you're saying that what do you call it? Kumi is a nihilist, and you're talking about Gavin talking about change and whatnot. I think I think the takeaway would be that Kumia doesn't care, right? And Gavin cares, or Kumia doesn't see a future and Gavin sees a future. Is that kind of where we're at?
At this point, I feel comfortable with Nick and Panhandling answering for me because I've just made all these things so clear.
I think
Yeah.
we should let Nick talk. We kind of run him over
Yeah.
as usual. So sorry, Nick. It just happens.
Yeah, no,
make
we
cases
should,
first.
and I know we should, but I want Gava to answer that question.
I really would prefer anyone else.
I would prefer that you answer the question because
I'm
I'm
gonna
trying.
yell at you because it's annoying because I've put so much effort to explain these things and I keep saying it.
But you're going in a lot of circles, and you're not. What you're saying, you're
taking us in circles. How are you?
no,
keeping
you've
me
got to
awake?
break it. No, because you got to break it down for me. Explain to me like I'm a dummy. Explain to me what the difference is. Why is Anthony's nihilism? Not even why is Anthony's nihilism bad. Your contention would be that Anthony, as a nihilist, just doesn't see any meaning and fuck it. Is that, and would like to see everything come down? And Gavin is not a nihilist because he wants to quote unquote fix things. Is that right? Is that where I am?
Didn't Panhandler just explain this to you? He just explained this to you.
I want you to explain it to me.
I explained it to you first, and then
She did. In all fairness, I'm not busting balls. She did explain it first.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I don't know.
Right, but I'm explaining to you that when we look up the definition of nihilism, right? Nihilism would say that you think that there's no point to life, that it's baseless, right? You don't believe in religious or moral, you don't have any moral or religious beliefs. That's nihilism. So what I'm saying to you is Kumia at the point where he just doesn't have any moral beliefs. He doesn't have any hope for the future, for argument's sake, that he doesn't believe there's any point in fixing things. And Gavin does. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get how Gavin's position is better than Anthony's position. That's what I don't get.
I didn't make a claim about which one was better. You had originally asked me about nihilism, and I used, because explaining things to you doesn't seem to work, so I used an illustration by pointing out an example of Anthony and Gavin to illustrate the type of political nihilism I was referencing. I wasn't saying Gavin was better. I was just trying to help you understand what I meant by it.
All right. Simply put, and I'll do the definition for you, right? Nihilism is the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicated, right? And so it's often associated with extreme pessimism, radical skepticism, stuff like that. Is that's how you see Anthony?
I was trying to make a more complex point about political nihilism with him. I think, like, yeah, I think as far as politics go, yeah, like, because I was responding to what you had said about John, in that he doesn't even believe anything that he says, and I was saying I don't even think Anthony believes the shit that he says in that WABC show. He's just dialing it in, and I said the only things I think he does feel passionate about are things that are like immigration and like anti-trans and all of that, and you see that in his behavior on Twitter. Like, he does care about that. So you could argue that that's not nihilistic of him. Like, there's something, but
all right. So then,
those are his
in order for me to believe that, then I would have to believe that John cares about the trans community and he cares about the beliefs that he espouses.
No, that's literally not what I said at all. I was saying that he doesn't either. I was saying Kumia doesn't either. I didn't make a claim about John.
But you compared the two. But you compared the two. So what you're saying is that
no,
neither one of them care about
listen to me.
the things that both of them espouse. Neither one cares about, or neither one believes in.
Nick, should I try to explain it, or this is just boring?
I think
we're definitely going around in circles. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, this is the retard racetrack, as my old friend Patrick used to say. So
You're saying it's the returned racetrack. I'm watching the numbers climb as we go through this.
probably to clown all of us tomorrow.
And so no, but I mean, you went into that show, right? I'm not bothering with the pedo stuff. I'm not bothering with any of the other stuff. You came into that thing and you said Anthony has hack takes, right? That's what you said. You said he has hack takes. You said he was a nihilist. You said, and you were your basic is that I'm going to say he has a lot of nerve talking about John when he's doing the same thing. That's you've said that.
I think the phrasing was, I think it's rich that Anthony is, and then I listed all this as making these claims about John, and then I turned it around and made.
So you don't. So then that would imply to me that you don't see a difference between Anthony and John, right?
I think that in that context, I don't have to even state an opinion because I was trying to just stay in the parameters of what that show is about. So I was just throwing it back at him. Like, I don't have to stake a claim on either of their ends if I'm just pointing out that he's doing the same thing. It's obvious you can just deduce that I have a negative opinion about Anthony, but I wasn't really commenting on like each thing individually and comparing them to how I felt about how John felt about them or Kumia.
Okay. My takeaway from what you said though is that what Anthony's doing to John is no different than what John is doing, and that both of them are just hack takes. So it's one hack making fun of the other, and maybe you're saying Anthony's a little bit smarter or a little bit more aware. So what his take on John is worse. His making fun of John is worse.
You don't get it exactly.
I don't get it because I don't think you're explaining it. I think I think you went in there. You wanted to
ask everyone else in this fucking room. They all know I explained it over and over.
Not, the chat doesn't seem to understand it either. It's just like you went in. It seems like you went in.
The chat is saying things like, "Has Ava ever considered a job as the bearded lady at the circus?"
Right. But you went in, right? You went in there when you went in there? You went in there to kind of own Anthony, right? Like that was the point.
Buckman, I think that there's a risk. Like at the end of the day, I think we can get lost. But everyone here is doing a show that is for entertainment. On a whim, they were on TSN. They were watching me and John talking, and Kumia was on there. And he took a bunch of shots at me, and then he made this broader point about John. And in that moment, I just thought it'd be like, fuck it. And I just jumped in there and fucking like attacked him and called him out. And there's only so much you really need to dissect it outside of just literally what's said. And you keep adding these adjectives and motives each time you just rephrase your question. And it really is just simply what it was. I said what I said, and it's not really complicated, and it wasn't political. It was what I said, and quite frankly, I didn't express sentiments that people in the Dabbleverse don't say all the time that don't like Kumia. People have these views about him and his radio show. That's it. We don't need to dissect it really beyond that.
Okay, and I'm fine with that. But you did start you did tell us you owned Anthony, right? Like that was one of the things that you said. So
I did.
I'm just
you don't want to watch the video. You don't want to watch the video. I said I own him in that video, and you refused to watch that video.
But did you
like why are you analyzing this on such macro levels when you didn't even watch the
I think
clip?
you would say micro levels, but
micro and macro.
All right, they're big picture and a little. I mean, look, I'm really kind of just busting your balls here a little bit, but
oh my God.
but
that's inappropriate. Cancel Schmuel.
It's not. Oh, God, don't start. Yes, that's what's going to happen. That's
You're a
what's going to be the
transphobe.
clip.
Schmuel's a transphobe.
Schmuel says Ava has balls. That's going to be the whole takeaway from the show tonight.
Well, you'll be like the 3,000 person that said that today, so you're not gonna get much clout for it. Nick's juggling.
No, it's all right. Nick, let's hear you. You got it.
Anyone watching this, I tried to punt it to Nick, and Schmuel just keeps.
No, we tried to. We'll let Nick. We'll let Nick go. But Avi, you're the star. I mean, you're the one that people want to see.
Talk to the other people. Please talk to the other people.
Nick, anything? I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let everybody have a good 5 minutes or so, and we'll get off in about 20. Go ahead. Nick?
This is
Nick,
why we
you're
don't let
either
you-
muted or you're talking. We can't
we
see
don't
your
let Nick
mouth
talk.
moving, so we don't know what's going on over there.
What a shit show.
It's not that bad, Panhandler. I mean, I've seen much worse.
Yeah, Nick, we can't hear you still. All right, that was very gay hand movement, just to let you know. Now I'm canceled. Life comes at you pretty fast.
All right, here you go. Metal has Schmuel seen nice podcast stream.
Yeah,
of
he was
him.
covering you. You got a lot of heat today, buddy.
No, I did not. I guess I'll eventually watch it. I don't really watch.
But do you ever watch anything to Ava's point, Nick's point, even though he didn't say it? Do you ever watch?
Boom.
All right, he's
There
back.
we go. We can
All
hear
right,
you now,
all right,
buddy.
All right.
Testing. Okay. Did you like my juggling? How was that?
It's good.
Sweet. What'd you ask me, Schmuel? I couldn't hear a thing.
No, we were saying since we always run you over and don't really let you talk, we were finally going to try and shut Schmuel and myself up.
I volunteered to shut up and let Nick talk.
Because
I
I
wanna make that-
have manners. I shouldn't have them, but I don't interrupt. Maybe I should.
Yeah, I would suggest though that here you feel free to interrupt.
That's all right.
But go ahead.
I don't know what we're talking about now. You just want me to say anything? Okay, Kumia sucks. He's not funny. John sucks. He's not funny. Neither one thinks for themselves. They both just fucking regurgitate talking points. It's just Kumia's a lot better at it.
Jesus, you could have saved us 3 hours. Where were you 3 hours ago?
I tried getting it in there. Schmuel was too busy trolling, I think.
I'm
I
scared.
don't know,
I'm scared that he wasn't trolling. I'm very worried about. I'm very concerned. Very concerned. I believe it started as a troll and then it just.
I'll put her back up when she comes back on camera. I what do you call it? No, I just I enjoy the comparisons between Anthony and John, and I wanted to hear what Ava had to say.
The only place where I disagreed with Ava, but I get it, is when actually I should probably wait till she's back. But
Just do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, when she was on with John, I think John was like, her and John were watching the clip of her going after Kumia on TSN, and John tried making himself up to be more of a political pundit than he really is. And I would just went with it. And I said, I kind of get that. You're on the show, whatever. You're not going to push back on it. But that's the only where I would disagree, because I think John's a total fucking hack, too.
Well, she pushed back on Kumia, right? Why not push back on
She didn't.
John?
She was very docile with John. It wasn't the Ava that I've seen on other shows type thing. She was, and I understand that she has some connection with John based on the announcement and stuff from a few years ago. But she didn't push back on John. So it was different, a different Ava on that show.
Yeah, I try to put myself in people's shoes, and John was loving what she did, so it's probably hard to push back when someone's complimenting the shit out of you, So I
very
get
easy.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Well, for you, Panhandler, you're a pessimist.
Yeah, it's very easy to be an asshole. It doesn't take a lot of effort. I'm very lazy too, so.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I still think I found it interesting, because I'm starting to. I used to be a big TSN guy and a Schmuel guy, and then you start to see things, you start to hear things, and then you witness things, and I don't know. It is then you start some of the shit that people used to say about him. Now I wonder if it's true, because I've caught Schmuel in a couple lies, so I don't know. There's some phonyism going on over there.
Well, I mean, look, there's phonyism going on
Everywhere.
everywhere. To me, the base difference between Kumia and John is that I think that Kumia is a true believer, and I think John is just full of shit. Like John is just doing what John does because he thinks that's what he's supposed to do. Not, I don't think he has any belief in any of the things that he's. If John's daughter was not transgender, he'd still be doing the Bruce Jenner Fruit Loops joke.
And I think John's doubly screwed now because he went all lefty when, the wokeness took over. And I know everybody hates that word, me too, and before, right when Trump was coming around. And now the pendulum, as it always does, is swinging even further in the other direction to the right. And now he's definitely a man, without a chair. So because he can't really talk about the ideals that he was preaching for the last 8 years or whatever. And now it's not cool. It's not trendy, to be woke or to be an ally or whatever the bullshit was back then.
He's John is totally full of shit. Like
right, but he doesn't have the country on his side now. He doesn't have the culture on his side now too.
No,
so
not even close.
Screwed.
Like he even he might even be trying to go the other direction. Like he when Ava was on with him, Ava somehow came up and she said that she's more progressive or whatever than John. And John's like, "What? I'm as progressive as it gets." And she's like, "Nah, no, I'm more like the Bernie Sanders type." And he goes, "I love Bernie," which John used to trash Bernie. Like when he doxed me and found out I was one of the pictures he found of me, I'm at like a Bernie Sanders rally. So he's like, "Nick was a Bernie, bro." He's like, because he used to think I was a Trumper because I would criticize Biden. That's how fucking stupid he is with this shit. He never realized I was like criticizing Biden economically or criticizing Biden in a populist way or a progressive way. He just, I'm a Trumpaloon because I was shitting on shit Biden was fucking doing, So, and then when, like I said, he found out I was a Bernie guy, he shit all over it. But now he loves Bernie. Like, I don't know. He's a fucking whatever. He's a hack. So I agree with you guys on that. He's a total hack. But I also think Kumia has hackiness in him too. Like if you go look at what he was saying about the Epstein files 6-8 months ago and what he's saying now, because his guy's in office, his guy fucked us instead of Biden. Biden fucked us too, but now that his guy is also fucking us, it's okay. So his beliefs fucking sway with the fucking wind as well. He's just more articulate and, I don't know, better at it than John.
Yeah, I just look, man. From what I've seen with Anthony versus John, I feel like I just said, Anthony. I think Anthony's like a true believer, and I think John is go. If John had lived in New York the entire time instead of California, he'd be a Trumper. I think he just goes where the wind blows. Or whatever works best for him.
I guess,
But John's so stupid he doesn't realize that Trump pretty much is a '90s Democrat. Like we've touched on this before. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't. To Nick's point earlier, he couldn't even tell you why he supported or he was against Bernie, whatever whatever kind of spiel he was on at that particular day. He cannot back up why he supports that person, other than, oh, AOC is popular, AOC is attractive, she gets a lot of run in the on social media, so I'm a big fan type thing. So he's just so disingenuous.
Yeah, I think that's
and where I think to Schmuel's point, Anthony is genuine in his beliefs. I do believe he does lean right. Yes, he may turn it up a notch for a show, but I do believe he agrees and aligns with the populist right kind of ideology.
I believe he's definitely right wing, but now it's like, okay, push back on the shit that we got fucked on. Like again, Epstein was a big deal. Now it's not. Now they fucking traffic.
MAGA's lost. I mean, Trump's this term is worse than the first one, which I didn't think was possible so far. So it's wild. It is wild how MAGA has gone full. I mean, I don't like to call people cults, but it really does seem that way now. Like he just terrible. He's terrible.
I look. I don't. Again, I'm not a guy that. I don't believe in the stuff that. I think Anthony's racist takes are very simplistic. You know, I think these guys on the right don't look at. They ignore history. Like when they tell us that, oh, all the stuff was in the past. It certainly was during my lifetime, so that's not that far in the past. Even as old as I am, and but I also think that it just feels to me like John does more harm to his side than good. He's just not. I don't trust him. I don't believe him, and he's an idiot.
John does a podcast on YouTube that sometimes he emerges in and disappears. Anthony every day or every week is pumping that shit to AM radio listeners. You can't say that John does more harm than Anthony if you're just equating it with their reach.
Well,
And John, as much as you want to call him dopey or whatever, like at the end of the day, Anthony is preaching hate. And I think that like we shouldn't even make this about right wingers. I think there's so many right wingers that are of good faith that I disagree with that are fine. What's going on with him is very different. If you look at his Twitter, and if you look at his Twitter, you'll see all day he is just posting like deeply fucked up, like hateful shit. And I don't think right wingers are all hateful like that. Anthony is doing a very specific thing. That's all I'll say. And at John's dopiest, he's not shitting on like groups of people. Like
he shits on Trumpers pretty hard. I mean, he does get pretty nasty with Trumpers and stuff. But I it's two different things. I agree that Anthony's is, a rage baiting Twitter account for sure.
That's fair too.
It's easy to get caught in that if that's all you see. I mean, I find myself falling into that trap every once in a while with certain stuff, and I'll say something out of pocket, which I probably don't really believe, but it is easy to fall into. Like, if that's all you're looking at. So I do see your point there.
And that's a good point with YouTube. I think we're getting into a weirder area now where it is kind of fascist-icky. It's like weird with Kimmel and all of that. And it's not like the Trump supporters are a marginalized group. Like, and John talking shit about them, I don't think is the same as Anthony poking on immigrants who are getting deported. And trans people who are being.
Well, that's the one thing I agree with Trump on, but I understand what you're saying. So, yeah,
and I'm not even.
I know the policy. I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's two different things. The actual real life effects, the real world effects. I got you.
Yeah,
Schmuel, sorry for getting like testy. I've just
it's fine. Getting testy's good. That's what. Look, Alva, if you sat here and you were, it wouldn't be interesting, right?
I know, but I wasn't even good. But I just took a shot and I feel so much better. So yeah, sorry.
No, don't. It's not. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. Look, remember how we met, and we still, and we're still doing this. So,
I love you. I wouldn't have yelled at you if I didn't love you like that.
No, I don't mind being yelled at. It's fine with me. Look. Bottom line, my view of the world is that guys like Anthony and whether it's MSNBC or Fox or WABC, it's all just an echo chamber, and they're talking to their own audience. I don't think Anthony's swaying anyone over to his side. I just think he's talking to people who are already there. What bothers me about John is people don't know him as they know him as Stuttering John. And I feel like if he had half a brain, he could win some people to his side, but he can't because he's too stupid.
It's not that he's too stupid. He's so unlikable. Like, whether you agree with Anthony or not, Anthony is, like, I could see hanging out with Anthony, or he'd be fun, even if I don't agree with him. Like, he's got some self-awareness where John has none. John thinks he's a big star and this, that, the other thing, and he's still living on, Howard Stern of the 90s type thing. So they're two totally different people. And John is just John really has no redeeming qualities whatsoever, at all.
Rochi, imagine thinking anyone should take you seriously when you clearly are a mentally ill person. Nope, I'm not talking about Schmuel Bachman.
He's talking about me.
Rochi, I'm glad you decided to get married and then just neglect your wife because you think she's a cunt and just keep gaining weight and sitting on a couch and watching YouTube all day because you're miserable. But I'm glad you think I know it upsets you that I'm happy and that and I'm trans and I'm totally confident and happy.
I don't even think you have to go
I'm
that far.
I'm doing great in my life, and I understand that you're miserable.
All you have to
And
say is
I would be miserable too if I were you.
Is Rochi supports Ashley. That's the biggest own you can possibly have on Rochi. You don't even have to go that far.
Rochi and I are both big Ashley supporters. Crumb says, Testy if you're Ava, I guess, but kick Crumbum. Yeah, Crumb, I will gonna talk to you, but I think there was a difference.
I can't believe you're
I think it's
still
worth
awake.
pointing out. I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I can't believe Crumb's still awake. I thought you was fucking falling asleep on the thing.
No, when you do like heroin like that, you kind of just.
Jesus Christ!
I wasn't gonna go that far.
Yeah, let's
Zanny bars is okay.
That was
Yeah.
out of line.
That's
not
not
what they
good.
said.
Chasing.
let's not go there.
Can I just make a statement that,
of
like,
course,
in my experience, like,
let's all wrap up our statements here and
in my experience, like,
go to bed.
when I actually like call these people out and go head to head with them, they're the most thin-skinned, sensitive people, and I would just like to point out they wouldn't last a second in my world, like with the shit I get from all these people, and they're all total pussies and they're little chatters like that. You guys, I've made you cry. I've made you quit Twitter by just pointing out how much of a loser you are. If you took any of the heat I've taken, being brown in South Carolina or just being a trans person in this space, you would have killed yourself. And I just wanted to illustrate that right now.
I've had a terrible life. You guys don't know. Down here in the Valley of the Trans, it's very different.
I never described my life as terrible. I'm like so grateful that I'm where I'm at in this life. I'm just pointing out that, like, with their personalities, they wouldn't look at the world in an optimistic way like I would. They would have killed themselves a long time ago because they're little pussies. They're snowflake pussies.
See,
Ava is my favorite new Dabbleverse villain. I hate to mark out because that's not my style, but she is my favorite villain for sure. 100%.
Isn't it like wine? I'm sorry.
I've seen but I look. I'll tell you what. I've seen Rochi take heat and
Rochi takes a lot of shit,
being
man.
confronted,
He
and he definitely handles it. He doesn't bail.
Yeah, you didn't see him take it out on his wife afterwards.
Well, that's not.
And get
see, but you can't. But this is But now we're going right. But this is.
Well, where is he going with me? All he does is just take shots at me for being trans. Like, why can't I point out that he has a shitty marriage?
How do you know he has a shitty marriage?
Because he's admitted it in one of the chats.
I had a shitty marriage too, so
I was not aware that he admitted it in chat. I always thought his thing was fine. I just don't, because my whole thing is, look, you can shit on Rochi all you want for what he does.
He's a fat slob.
You can shit on people for whatever they do here, but when we start bringing in other stuff, then it's like, oh, well, then they're a wife beater, or they're this, or they're that.
His marriage is fine, but he's an ugly, fat loser slob.
You talking to me or him? Which one are you talking to?
You're amazing. Okay. Panhandler's a real man.
Oh, thank you.
A real man.
It just moved a little.
Rochi's
now I got a question. Now I got to question everything.
Rochi's a fat, useless slob.
Oh, man.
Okay, fine. I mean, look.
And by the way, all these people have these like emotional, like one of the things that I wanted to actually, one of the only things I wanted to say was like, when you talk to John and go on his show, these people in the chat are so psychotically obsessed with these like loyalty tests, and like you can't, and they're like trying to protect. They're like paternal. They're like, John is just trying to use you in for his own gains. Like, Carl was so good to you. Carl respects you as a trans person. Like, these people are all crazy. Like, what if maybe none of that shit matters? And what if it's just like, you know what, Shirley and Carl kind of, it's enough already, and like, why not just fucking hang out with John and talk shit about them? Like, there's a lot of shit to talk about them. So I think that that's a much more entertaining than just watching Shuli and Carl look at the steel toe clock to see how long it took for him to get the final donation. I mean, it's enough already with that.
See, but it's entertainment, and they have an audience. So
I'm saying it's not entertaining.
you,
anymore.
like I said earlier, you might not find it entertaining, but
I understand
other
that.
people,
Well, you don't
other
have to
people
make that
do.
point about everything. Everything I'm saying doesn't mean that I think everyone else should have that opinion. I'm just stating my take.
Right.
You don't need to point out that people have different views every
Right,
time.
but you did. But Avi, you were very quick a few minutes ago to point out you're like saying Crumb is using H and Rochi has a shitty marriage. Neither one of those things we know to be true.
Are we a
right?
courtroom? Or are we the
No,
Davenports?
but we don't. But it's just like we.
Are we being civil?
No.
Are
But
we
let's.
here to be meticulous and civil? Or
No, we're not here to be. We're not here to be meticulous and civil, but we're not here to make shit up either.
Why don't you
Especially
say
stuff
that's-
that's
why don't you-
serious.
why don't
That's
you say-
serious stuff.
Do you not think it's serious when Rochi just attacks me as a trans woman every time I'm on a show? Why don't you call him out about that? Why can't I just shit on him for being a fat slob in response to that?
You can shit on him. I'm telling you to shit. Listen, you can shit on him for calling you out. You can shit on him for being a trans slob, whatever.
Okay,
He's a trans slob. You can shit on him for any of those reasons. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is when we.
Of being on. Why can't I say that he's a fat slob with a shitty marriage if he just is just?
Why did you say? But you said he was going to go. You did say he was going to go beat his. You said he was going to go beat his wife, which is funny. It's not funny. I mean, it may be funny to you, but
okay. Well, sometimes just because you think something isn't funny, maybe other people think it's funny. Isn't that annoying for me to say right now?
No, because I don't find it annoying at all, but there's a certain amount of respect and decorum I'm trying to keep here.
He showed me
and one of the things that I don't want to do
you read his
on this show, one of the things I don't want to do is I don't want to be accusing people of nasty like
you'll read his super chat just saying the nastiest thing about me, and then if I respond to it, then you're gonna police that.
I did not I was not I never
did he read that super chat about me?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't stop you from responding to it, did I?
But why are you saying what I said was nasty?
What he says is nasty too, but he's a chatter. He's not on the show. He doesn't. You can go back at him.
He's too much of a pussy to come on a show with me, and
probably. Look, that I would agree with you there. I mean, he's been offered the link like a million times, but he turns it down. So yeah, maybe he's afraid to be on with you. That's a legit question.
Is there a part of you that recognizes that like I'm the only trans person that comes on these shows and I just am cornered every day, and that maybe I get to like respond like harshly too?
You're allowed to, but nobody's telling you to not respond harshly. Nobody's saying to you to not respond harshly. Nobody's saying to you to not respond harshly. You can respond.
You are criticizing how mean I'm being.
No, I'm not. I'm not criticizing how mean you're being. I'm criticizing you making up that he beats his wife or that Crumb is taking heroin. That's what I'm criticizing.
Schmuel has repeated that 4 times now. There's a troll going on. Let's just end this.
Okay.
And that's the thing, Nick. It's like Nick, you thought that I've been trolling you since like day one, and it's not. I'm not capable.
No, he's just.
Don't you guys understand that?
He's not trolling. He's just an imbecile.
Schmuel,
exactly.
The things you don't want her saying, you just repeated 4 times. So that's not a troll.
Because she's saying, "Oh well, I'm getting a little bit hard with him," but it's 2:00 in the morning, and we're having an adult conversation.
Why can't I call a guy a fat slob whose wife hates him? It's 2 a.m.
Like I said, you can call him anything you want. I just don't want him. I don't want to accuse. I just don't want the guy accused of things that he's.
Well, I did it.
There you go. All right.
You can throw me off next time.
I'm not throwing anybody off.
Right,
I'm just pointing it out.
I don't want you to lecture.
It's my show. I can do what I want.
Throw Crumb off. That's all.
Yeah.
And look, I didn't want to throw Crumb off. I'm sorry that it happened, but
Listen,
didn't
I stopped
feel
paying
right.
attention when Ava covered up her rock, so I haven't been paying attention since she went to the wardrobe change. So.
And Ava, I'm a big supporter of your rack.
Hey, fatty, I talk to my parents every day, and they love me. And they
My
gave me
dad's dead.
they
Thanks
gave me
a
a
lot,
healthy. They
Roshi.
gave me a healthy amount of attention when I was growing up too. So you can ditch that little bullshit argument. If you have children, I wonder how they're going to turn out though. With you
All right, let's not go
gaining
to the kids.
weight on the couch.
Let's not go to the kids thing. Come on, guys. Even I have my limits.
You're just saying that because you don't agree with what I said.
Oh, so you're okay with them? You're okay with somebody going after their wife, but
No, I never
their
bring
kids. No,
I have you find me where I go as harsh as I am that I go after people that are not in this world. I don't do that.
but
I
you
do-
sat there silently when I said that maybe those are not things that we should be accusing
I said
people
when she
of.
said H, I said, "Come on, man, let's not do that." I said,
Panhandler, he brought up my parents, and so that gave me permission to hit him on his kids.
All right, fair enough.
I don't even know
Yeah.
if he has kids. They're hypothetical kids.
Oh wait.
Can we all just agree that Schmuel sucks?
When Kumia says this stuff, it's fine, but like when the trans brown person,
Oh,
says
here
it,
we go. Let's not
Oh.
go. Let's not go backwards. Let's just end the fucking stream. Somebody
Right.
end it. Somebody.
Crumb bum, come take my spot. I gotta
Shut off my
go
electricity.
to bed or
No,
unalive
Nick, don't
myself.
go.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this one. I got to get out of here, and I got a few things I got to finish up with the audience, and so you're welcome to hang out while I do it, but I'm going to be boring you, which I've done most of the night.
I didn't call your kids ugly. I said you're ugly. I said
Now it's
Roach.
just getting interesting. When
Yeah.
Alpha takes on everyone, I honestly get hard. I'm
You
not
should
gonna
have.
lie. I love it. I love it.
Earlier during the whole TSN episode, it was just me versus their chat. It's just like.
It's just so.
Oh yeah,
so
today's
great.
just war. Today I'm at war, so
I
just
love
like,
it.
Yeah,
I fucking love it.
I have a thing, right, about like the chat and stuff. What I wonder is it's like how much when I'm on other people's shows, I try not to look at the chat because I want to focus on the show and not the chat. But I think I might be wrong.
Well, you're the host of the show. As a guest, I don't look at the chat, and then around halfway through, like after I catch a little bit of a buzz, then I'll look at it, and then that's when these things happen.
Gotcha.
But
All right,
somebody,
guys.
you should be monitored. You should have your. You should be watching the chat. You're the
I am
host.
watching.
He
I
can
am
barely run
watching the
he can
chat.
barely run the show. Don't give him more responsibilities. Don't do that.
Hey, I offer to help you pull clips and stuff.
I am watching the chat, and I do. What do you call it? I do pull up sometimes that will generate some heat and some argument. But I guess me thinking that that's going to be the only chat we look at is probably not.
But I think
Rochi, you're asking me what's next after the Kumia thing? I think is your wife filing for divorce.
Jesus. All right. Now it's just getting good. Now I want to stay on.
OG Mumble and Nick, X and YouTube. Thanks. Bye. I'm up.
This is always so funny.
Poor
Guru One is in the chat. He blocked me now. Well, you guys can talk now. That's it. Anyway, guys.
Oh, Rochi, what happened to the Weinstein podcast? I have respect for the audience, and I work full-time and I'm a full-time student, and I would not do a good show with literally the only time I free is when I jump on in these little moments. You fat slob. You waste of a person. By the way, the thing he said about his wife was he was saying that she's so ugly that's why he has to watch YouTube. So how about that?
Jeez.
Wow.
That's what he said about his misery.
Wow. All right. Anyway, we're wrapping, and I'm gonna say goodnight to our guests, the lovely and charming old panhandler, and the mean.
Crumbum. If you knew anything about college if you knew anything about college education, we're on break before the fall term starts. You fucking douchebag. You fucking God knows what you're popping. But either way, you suck on a show, whether or not you're on painkillers or heroin or not. Either way, you're still ugly too.
Anyway,
Get him, Alva. Get him.
Alva seems to be
I kind of want
taking.
to fight. I kind of want to fight with Alva now because I like this. I'm sorry, we kind of made up. I'm gonna.
No,
send I'm gonna send her a nasty DM again.
She's taken over your place. You were brought in to be the mean tough guy, and it's like now you're becoming like, no guys, let's just all get along.
I know.
And Alva's like,
Go,
that
go.
happened, you're like, whoa.
I just the kids and the wife thing. It's just like I said. I don't have many lines, but again, he went after you, so whatever. I'm a big 1A guy. You can speak what you want.
It's a weird line. Like, how would you play it if you were trans and then somebody takes those shots? Like,
How do you know
what-
I'm not trans?
I know. Wait, I know.
I'm a
But,
pretty
like,
lady.
yeah, but like when someone does that, like, if that like that attack is, do you still follow the rules about the attacking someone's
No,
car?
I mean, I think as a younger man, where I used to get in the little scrapes and fights and this, there are no rules in a fight, right? There's no such thing as a clean fight or a good fight. Like if you're gonna get in, you're gonna get in. Rake their
Okay, so-
eyes, kick them in the balls, whatever. I'm just saying, for me personally, I try not to, but I say some horrible shit too. So I'm not judging you.
Okay. Well, for me, this is where I'm at right now.
All right, I like it. I'm fucking for it then.
All right. I love you both.
Oh,
and,
was it Ava Tyler Robinson's girlfriend? Hey, did you notice how the person in that storyline, the trans person, cooperated with police, but it was like the white hunting guy that shot up people? And by the way, it ain't no big news if there's like a white right winger that is banging a trans woman, because all you Trump supporters are secretly watching trans porn and trying to fuck trannies. So
Hey, I will tell you the glory hole is the most active place at a MAGA rally. So there we go. Good night, guys. I got to end this.
Susan. I know, Susan. I don't get a gun because I'm not a violent person. Like, the only reason I would need to get a gun is to protect myself from Trump supporter stalkers that get mad when I reject them at bars. You fucking cunt. So go fuck yourself.
I did almost get tricked once, but I know we're ending the show. I did almost get tricked once. I have a kind of funny story about that, but we'll save it for another time.
This totally fits into like this paranoid, psychotic, right wing like Trump supporter thing where they think that all these trans people are trying to trick them. The last thing a trans person.
No, I'm saying I didn't know. I'm not saying it was intentional. I'm saying I had no idea until someone told me. I'm not saying it was nefarious or something.
And that's why those gross cunts like Nancy Mace and all of them, if you notice, like the women that are like the most anti-trans are these fat, dopey, past their prime, ugly broads. And and they're mad because these trans women are hotter than they are.
All right. Well, Nancy has a nice rack too. So
Good night, guys.
We're
We're done with this.
All right.
Panhandler, say good night.
Hey, remember just about the JMO thing. If he's on, I'm officially a free agent. Av and I are going to start our own show.
I'd love that. That'd be good.
All right, you guys would be great together. Good night, Panhandler.
Good night, buddy.
Schmuel, I'm sorry for yelling at you. I love you.
Don't leave yet. You're getting your chance here to say good night.
Me or him?
Him. He's gone. Now I say good night to you.
Oh. Good night. I love you, Schmuel. Sorry. I was a little.
Don't be Ava. Don't be
let me
sorry.
Apologize. Let me apologize.
I don't want you. You got nothing to apologize for.
I'm showing respect to you.
I thank you. I mean, I appreciate the respect, but we can't be doing we can't be doing nice shows all the time, and like if
we never will. Me and you are gonna be real with each other no matter.
And
what.
we just it's this is what we do, and I care about you, so.
Of course.
There you go.
But it's like when you have an audience that's psychotic that read into these arguments that we have, it's like in a tennis match where they shake hands after. It's to demonstrate to the audience that everything is okay, and I'm doing that for the audience. Me and you know that we're cool.
Right, and I will tell you that my DMs tomorrow will be, there'll be about 8 of them, and 4 of them will be pro Ava, and 4 of them will be Ava's the worst person on the planet. And
same here, but just the quadruple.
And then that lets me know that we're doing the right things.
That's when you know you're doing a good job.
All right, kid. I will see you soon. I'll talk to you over the weekend.
Awesome. Love you.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you soon.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye. And I am still here. Whew, that was fun. All right. I'm Schmuel Buckman. There's 36 of you here. I really thank you guys. It blows me away. We're very close to monetization. So if you subscribe, that would be awesome. Take your kids' computers, your wives, your grandmas, and subscribe. And let us, Guru One, you owe us Schmuel. I think that was actually, what do you call it? I think it was entertaining. So what can I tell you? And truth be told, I'm watching the numbers. So it's like if they were dropping, I would have just ended it, but they weren't. So there seemed to be interest, and that's the deal. Crumb, I am so sorry that that happened, but I really felt like it had to happen. And Rochi, please get some sleep. It's got to be like 5 in the morning over there, or 6 or something. And that's it. And just reminding everyone that tomorrow night, 7:30, I will be on Skeptical Robot with Luigi Greenberg and Gummy Chainsaw and that crew. And our skeptical person of the night that's being covered is Harold Camping. And if you haven't seen or heard of Harold Camping, give it a quick run through Wikipedia or something. And whatever it says, imagine he's 10 times nuttier. And but that's great. And I have one question in the chat that I'm going to answer. And I don't even know that I'm going to answer it. But I'll put it up. It says Metal Metal. It says all of the DMs will be about NPS going hard after you, Schmuel. Okay. You know, I'm here for it. I'm an old man. I'm not very good at this, and people coming after me is just part of the territory. And there we go. And Rochi, I'll hit her one more time for you, SJ. Oh, Stuttering John's fingernails. Go whack that wife around, Rochi. I think it's all going to be really funny when we find out that Rochi is actually a gay man living in Britain or someplace. I don't know. It was a bad thing. So I